Here we go. We're on.
You gotta hear that.
Welcome back, everybody. Welcome back to Phil's Recap and Review. This is The Walking Dead, Episode 9, or not Episode 9, Season 9, Episode 15, The Calm Before. I can't help it. I'm a little distracted. I'm a little over the top. I'm sick. I'm sick because tonight we lost someone very important, Joe. We lost an important character, and the world is very hurt. Ladies and gentlemen, Henry. Henry is gone.
Right.
Frank? We lost Frank? Well, we lost the Punisher.
He was one of the heads, I thought. Have you seen Frank?
But yes, this was an episode of The Walking Dead. A lot did happen in this episode. I have mixed feelings as usual.
A lot did not happen in this episode.
I do have mixed feelings about this episode. There were some elements I liked about it, maybe the very end, but what I didn't like about this episode in general, we'll get into all of that stuff as well in a moment. But I'm not alone, of course. I have with me, at least for a little bit here, Joe Dirty Locks. What's going on, Joe? We also have the live motherfucking chat. And as I mentioned, I'm sorry, I'm a little under the weather, so we're going to go a little quicker than usual this evening and kind of go through this episode. But Joe, what did you think? I know you might not be able to stay with us the whole time here, so let's get some of Joe's thoughts right off the bat. What did you think of this episode of The Walking Dead, and maybe a little bit about last week's as well?
Well, I didn't dislike this episode or last week's episode. I thought there was a lot of things that were good, but for the most part, it's still I don't know.
Yeah.
I just don't even know what to say. Like, it's
See, Joe is at a loss of words tonight. And okay, this is where I'm at. To just interrupt you, Broke in the live chat says, I actually really I love the last week's episode and this week's episode. I'm going to say, I like
that Michonne cut down a bunch of kids.
Yeah, that was cool.
What was the point of the fucking branding? What was the point of the branding?
Visual representation to kind of show it, to shock and awe a little bit. But this is what I'll say about
stupid. It was stupid.
Maybe a little bit. What I'll say about last week's episode before we get into tonight's episode and everything, because I was not here last week, so just to get a few things, I liked last week's episode better than tonight's episode as a whole. I thought the end part of this episode with the reveal on the Pikes was done pretty well. I thought it was a cool visual, and I generally like the last. No, not the last, but the second to last 10 minutes of this episode. When they captured them, when they came back from commercial break and Alpha takes Daryl on a walk, and the way they discover the Pikes and the flashback to each character and Carol's reaction, I thought elicited some sort of emotional reaction out of me. But for the most part, I think last week's episode held my interest a lot more. It was generally one of the most exciting episodes of this season, so it kind of kept me going. We got to see Michonne go all Anakin Skywalker and cut down some younglings, which I didn't mind seeing that. But I think tonight's episode, the problem I had with it, and I know some people really like this, and we're seeing some positivity in the live chat about tonight's episode, mainly because of Henry's death and Tara's death and Enid's death, which are all not bad things. Let me be clear. Enid being gone off this show is not a bad thing. Tara being dead is beautiful. Somewhere the Walking David is dancing the Irish jig right away, right now. And that's pretty fucking cool, too. And I thought Ezekiel continues to be captivating on screen. I think Jerry as well. Jerry, when he's in scenes, if he was in a better show. I'm sorry. Like, I'm saying if this was old school Walking Dead when I was captivated by it and you had a character like Jerry, I would really like Jerry. But it's when you have these characters selling the show, it's not quite good enough for me for a whole. But my problem with this episode is editing. Everything I've said about this whole season, when I say it's been tighter than the last two seasons and doesn't feel like it's bloated or they're blowing up time, why the flying fuck burger? And I know, I'm sorry, I don't want to get into this right away because I'm very happy Henry died, but why the fuck burger did this episode need to be an hour and a half? It did not need to. If this episode dragged longer than the end of the Lord of the Rings series, the way this episode,
they didn't want it to be all fair, and it should have been. It should have been just. The fair should have been 2 episodes, and this should have been the second half of the finale.
Yeah, I feel like the last part of this episode actually could have been done well, and especially too, where the episode ended. Why do we have to do that whole Sadiq bad acting thing and then another ending? This episode had like 4 or 5 fucking endings. It should have ended with them discovering the Pikes and all those flashback scenes. That was the logical end point. It felt like an end of an episode. It ended things on a high stakes. You get into that cool trailer, which was a good trailer for the final episode of the season, and you could have done something cool here. But again, just like everything in The Walking Dead the last couple of years, they have a fucking tasty snack and someone decides to diarrhea on it in some weird way. I don't know. It's always different. Sometimes it's the acting choices. Sometimes it's a style choice. Sometimes it's the plotting of the whole episode. This episode didn't know how to end. It was like a dude at a party that's saying bye 15 times. It's like, goodbye. Yep. Goodbye. It's like me ending a podcast. That's what it was. The end of this episode was like me trying to end the podcast where I'm like, we're done. Now I'm going to talk about The Sopranos and John Barenthal being in The Sopranos prequel.
Let me ask you a question, Phil.
Yes, sir.
You sit on a bench next to a girl you're really into.
Mm-hmm.
You both confess your like to each other. You give them a little smooch. And then you say, all right, I'll see you later. Or do you say, do you want to come with me? Maybe we can fucking the pocket piper them after we're done.
I mean, that's the goal. I mean, life goals, right? Is that
you
what
don't
they say?
Come with me. I don't want to leave you right now. You're like,
I'm
I
going.
gotta go take care of some pipes. Peace.
No. No, Phil, Ken is safe again, says Merle Davis. Oh, we got Merle. We got Fandom D saying, I like Michonne cutting down children. I did too. I thought it was everything that Anakin cutting down the younglings was not. Can someone tell me what the fuck happened to Cindy? I thought she was running Oceanside. They probably just didn't re-sign her.
No, was that her name in the show was Cindy? Because this girl professed to have been on the beach as well. And Katie and I were like, well, is that supposed to be the girl from the last, like, couple seasons? Or did they just replace her and say it's her? But I think she signed her name Rachel, didn't she?
Yeah, I think so. I'm going to turn. Thank you.
She was like, I should have killed you when on the beach when we first saw you.
Is that better? Thrash shitface or thrash? Is that better? Sorry, I had to turn you up a little bit, Joe. And sorry about the beginning and the little slow beginning of our podcast, everybody. Joe and I had a crazy weekend where we got really drunk for the whole weekend. We did an escape room where we killed it, and that was more exciting than this episode, Joe. The escape room was better than this episode of The Walking Dead. I got more for my money there. Yes, Phil. Yes, Phil. I know last week made no sense. Yes, last week's episode was decent. I liked it. Absolutely. Liked it, actually. I wouldn't go as far as to say that I was not oppressed by last week's episode. I thought last week's episode got back to the stakes thing that I often talk about, where something shocking happened and it carried through some discussion after the episode. The Michonne killing the children and that whole setup with her being pregnant with the katana cutting down children was a great visual. That's classic Walking Dead. And so I appreciate that, and I do appreciate the scene of the Pikes. I did not know that was coming, unlike some people that read the comics, which I assume that was part of the comic stuff. And now that I've heard some people gave me spoilers without knowing it by saying things about Pikes. And I'm like, oh, okay, that's what they're talking about with the reanimated heads. It was kind of a cool visual. And does anybody in the live chat I thought it was shot pretty well. And looked pretty well, especially when they were first walking up and you could kind of see them all in the distance up on the Pikes and you can kind of get the glimpse of it. And again, with the Carol thing, I thought worked well. Does anybody in the live motherfucking chat know who exactly was up there? If can give me a full character list of who was
okay, so Frank was one of the guys, two other no names, and then our three
who's Frank?
Main
Frank
characters.
Is Frank Enid's boyfriend?
There were nobody. So there was Grace Under Fire was up there, Tara was up there, Henry was up there, and what the girl there, JSS was up there.
Enid and
and then two other fucking no names.
Addie was up there too. The girl that had the crush on Henry.
Addie, the kid that she rubbed one of the shit rubber faces.
Izzy.
And then the redhead girl,
Frankie,
that we got one sentence from. Hope you find what you're looking for, Henry. She was up there.
Now we got Ozzy, DJ, Frankie. Only knew Adele says only knew 3. Tammy Roses. Oh yeah, we saw Grace Under Fire was up there.
Yep.
So the important ones, if we're gonna go to important characters or moderately important characters from our original group, or for characters that we care, that some people could care about, it would be what? Tara, Enid, and Henry.
Tara, Enid, Henry, Grace.
And it was Enid's boyfriend up there. Was No,
he was on stage with the guitarist.
Okay. It was Manga there? Was she one of the
Who?
heads? Magna or whatever it is. Her name's Manga.
Magna.
What? The girlfriend. What's her name? The other girl from the new group.
No, none of the new group was up there.
None of the new group was up there. Okay. So, Joe, that's a point. That I know I said her name wrong there first, but I think that's part of the problem here with some.
You don't know the names. Yeah, you can't figure them all out.
I don't know, and I don't care.
I don't know anybody's
I
name.
don't want to know their name either.
I don't care either. They're just the face. That's all.
Yeah, who's gonna be the new Ken? Tara should have been picked. Magna's alive. I just checked the wiki. Okay, and Father Gabriel needs to go as well. Thank you guys. This Negan. We did not see Negan this episode. We saw Negan last week, but we did not see Negan this episode. Do you think Negan gets out next week? Gets out of prison? Do we lead into next season with Negan out of prison?
I think so. I think that sounds fair.
Phil, we all care about Ken. We all care about the new Ken. 2 highwaymen, 2 teens from Hilltop, Enid, Tara, and Henry. Thank you, Tom. No balls, Walking Dead. No balls. So I also want to mention, going into last week before we get into the recap here, is Michonne's not coming back, right? So Michonne has to die next week or disappear?
No. She'll be in next season. I think they're killing her halfway through the first half of the season.
Okay, so she actually will be back at the beginning of next season.
Yeah.
Okay. Negan's waiting for Sam and Dean to bust out. Fuck Supernatural's ending. No balls. A lot of these... Oh my goodness. Red shirt. A lot of these characters are just red shirts. Or were introduced just to be red shirts. And that's, okay, looking back, whether you think this was effective or not, now you see what they were doing with Grace Under Fire the whole half a season. It was they made you want to try to care about her, so it would be another effective death on the pike, instead of doing... Why didn't Alpha kill Henry and Ezekiel? I think that might have been a better choice, and then Carol would have really gone crazy, Carol, if her husband and her son got killed as well. And I thought that was a pretty good flashback to the feelings that we get from the Sophia thing. And I think any point in time where I cared about anything in this episode, it was to deal with Michonne, Carol, or Daryl, because they're characters I actually have years of seasons of actual caring about built up. There's a couple moments in this episode, especially 1 or 2 with Carol, that got me a little bit emotional, where I actually sort of felt some shit. So, Joe, speaking of feeling some shit, let's kick into this recap. And as I mentioned, Joe may need to work. He's on call for work tonight, and he's that's why he's not drinking as much of his beer as he should. But he might be he might have to run at some point pretty soon. So we'll keep Joe as long as we can. So let's get
Battle X. Grace Under Fire was a show from the 90s that the old chick with the baby, the head on the pike there, was from.
Yeah, I'm sorry. The Grace Under Fire reference. Yes, that was whatever. Because I don't know that character's name, Joe. Do you know the character in the show's name?
Nope, not at all.
Yeah.
Never knew it. Never. I don't even know if I ever paid attention to anybody call her by her name. Like, the fuck? What's the husband's name?
Oh, Frankie was one of the women's on the pike, which was one of Negan's wives. The husband's name I knew at one point because he had a slightly longer story.
You knew at some point, yeah. What? When he was drunk in a cell? I didn't know his name then either. The blacksmith.
Yes, Henry's boss. That's what it did. Why didn't someone kill Negan yet? Because they didn't. Who the fuck is this Grace Under Fire? I forget that old lady's name. We all do. I'm sad, Phil. Negan's ginger wife is dead. Dead. And speaking of dead, let's get into this. Recap! Okay. There we go. Tammy Rose. Thank you, everybody. Tammy Rose.
Who cares? You didn't have to put that in the chat. Nobody. Well, I'm not going to remember that tomorrow.
Do you think that was a waste of energy to type that up?
That was a waste of energy, Santevia and Denis.
And did you guys have to look that up, or did you guys remember that? If you remember that, I'm giving you like 2 points.
They looked it up.
No. I'm thinking they maybe know. They
looked it up.
They knew I was actually going for those burps are sexy, Joe, says Roddy.
Oh, they're gonna keep on Rollins. Rolling.
They're gonna keep on Rollins along. So hey, where is it? I need a drum. I need a comedy drum fill for that. They're gonna keep on Rollins along. Okay.
I am nothing if not sexy, yo.
Mr. Dong says, "Rest in peace, Tara's big rack." Holy crap! I forgot about Brett Butler. Phil, the issues guy. Hey, I met David Tennant yesterday. Dude was awesome. I could tell he was very tired, and he would have had to carry the panel on his own because Matt Smith bailed. Oh, that sucks. So you were at a Doctor Who panel. Did anyone ask him any Jessica Jones questions? And or any? Doesn't he also do the voice of? He also does the voice of Scrooge McDuck on the new DuckTales show as well. I believe David Tennant does. So which is awesome. If anyone liked the old DuckTales or watched the DuckTale or read the Duck comics, or early Duck comics, the new DuckTales show that came out, I believe it's 2 years ago now, maybe a year ago, is excellently done. It's probably one of the best newer cartoons that are out, especially if you have any affinity for Donald. And part of it, what's awesome about it is Donald Duck's a huge part of that show. Okay, that's a better show. I don't want to talk about that. Tara did die, Jay. Tara is gone. They could have picked the 2 other kids instead of those kids no one would have done. Now, the panel was today, and I wasn't there for it. They said her name, so I didn't have to look it up. Couldn't remember the husband's name.
I don't know. This David Tennant guy, I think Jess Jones is like the only thing I've ever fucking seen him in. I'm looking at his
IMDb.
Like nothing else on here was any good. The fuck, Doctor Who? That's a shitty fucking show. Yeah, all you Who fans out there, go fuck yourself. It sucks. And,
I've never watched a single moment of it.
There's nothing else on this list but Jessica Jones that I fucking seen
DuckTales.
How does DuckTales? You don't see him in DuckTales. You hear a fucking voice. It doesn't matter whose fucking voice. It could be anybody's fucking voice. Cartoon voicing is the most stupid fucking job, and they give it to names for no fucking reason. Anybody could do those fucking voices. Like some of the worst actors in the world could probably do fucking voice acting. It's ridiculous. There's nothing else on this. I'm back to 2003. I still don't see anything on his fucking IMDb
He was in a Harry Potter
that I
movie.
know. So fuck all you people who are like, David Tennant's awesome. He was okay in fucking Jessica Jones. And anything else he was in, I've never even fucking heard of.
Fuck you too, Joe. Michael Olivia says, thank you, Joe. Dr. Michael Olivia, great to see you in the live chat. He says, thank you, Joe. Doctor Who gives a shit. He was in Mary, Queen of Scots. Joe, put something in your mouth, man. Joe's on call.
Yeah. Dude, you want something in my mouth. You need something in my mouth.
Yeah, you need Joe on that wall. If Joe's not on that wall putting things in his mouth, people die.
David Tennant. Who the fuck is he?
Your
B fucking shit list.
Oh my goodness.
I'm
Joe.
glad he's a cool guy though. No, seriously.
You're such a dick. Okay.
No, I love meeting actors that I like, and if you like him, that's cool. I understand. And like I said, he was okay. He was good. He was good. I enjoyed him in Jessica Jones. I don't want to say he was good or he was just okay. That was a lie. That was me trying to needle at y'all, motherfuckers.
Yeah. Because you don't. No, it's really because you don't like Doctor Who, right?
And that's exactly it.
I've literally never watched a single episode of it, so I have no point of reference other than I know that a lot of Star Trek fans like Doctor Who. That's it. Or I've heard it's Quantum Leap-ish at times. What I've heard. I've heard it compared to Quantum Leap. Mr. Dong says I disagree about voice acting in cartoons. I do too, Mr. Dong, but I don't have the energy to fight Joe tonight. And no, what I agree with what Joe is saying is sometimes in certain movies they hire named actors to be voice acting talent instead of hiring voice acting talent. I do think being a voice actor
blank. I mean, come on, dude.
Look at Trevor from Grand Theft Auto. Look at any of the voices or like there's so many. I could just name a billion. Clementine from frickin' the Walking Dead games and stuff. A great voice actor is an amazing talent, and I think it's sometimes they ease it up and give it to stars to be able to sell the movie instead of getting the best person to play the part.
Bullshit. That's bullshit. That's just bullshit.
That they do that, or it's bullshit.
Or fucking, like. Spread the fucking joy, dude. There's a lot of people want to be in that industry that could do a great fucking job that try out. And they're we'd rather pay more money for some, big name who's just gonna fucking half-ass it.
Yeah, I'd rather them just give every job to the cast of Futurama. Give it all to Billy West and Joe DiMaggio and all the.
There's other people that can do great voices.
And then
too,
and then for every example of an example of a movie star who is a great voice actor is Mark Hamill. Mark Hamill is probably the best talent of both ends in the sense of being Luke Skywalker and so iconic for that, and then being the motherfucking Joker. Not one of the Jokers. Mark Hamill is the motherfucking Joker. And same with Kevin Conroy as Batman. I mean, no one can be Batman like Kevin Conroy can be Batman. And so I think, where I would argue, and I don't think I'm arguing with Joe because I think he agrees with this, that actors as voices for cartoons doesn't always work, but voice acting is an amazing talent that I'm jealous of the people that do that.
It can be. Some people have, and I'm going to say this, some people have amazing talent at voice acting. But what I was more commenting on was the fact that they give it to just, anybody who's a name.
Right. No, I would agree with you.
But that's not a draw. Like you could tell me a big star is a voice actor for any kind of cartoon or animated series or movie or something like that. That's not the draw for me to go. I'm not going to an animated feature because so-and-so is voice acting a character. Not at all.
Mike,
That is no decision making in it.
Mike saying Cesar Romero is the Joker. What I love about Cesar Romero's Joker is that he was so pimp that he didn't even shave his mustache for the part. He just painted the makeup over the mustache. That's what I fucking love about Cesar Romero's Batman. That's how much gigantic balls Cesar Romero had. He goes, if you want me in your fucking show, and if you look back at that Batman 60 show, you got Mickey Burgess Meredith as the Penguin and stuff. You had a lot of really great actors in that show. Anyways, Adam Best way better than Christian Bale. These are the lengths that Joe and I are going not to talk about The Walking Dead. But let's get into this episode now. We open up after last week's indulgence of killing kids and moral lessons to everyone is heading to the kingdom. Now we start off with some dude and his wife that someone mentioned Paulo and what was the other character's name from Lost? Joe's not gonna know what I'm talking about, but Nikki and Paulo from Lost. There was an episode of Lost, Joe, that starts out with these two characters that no one cares about, no one knows, and by the end of the episode they're dead. And that's kind of what started here. We get this couple that's basically.
Where's my present?
I think I found something you like.
Oh, yeah?
I missed the cold open and whatever she was carving, so he had to fill me in on that.
Oh, Atari Dad! I'm just to give Atari Dad full credit. I'm copying your joke there. But I thought a similar thing, but that I'm stealing Atari Dad's thunder with the Nikki and Paulo comment.
All right, Tom Baker is the only Doctor Who.
Bernie's saying, "Oh my God, Lost! What are you doing to me, Phil? Fucking Lost references. You better not be making any Lost references in a couple of weeks when Game of Thrones starts. That better not be happening."
So I'm on a second rewatch. My
stop trying to change the subject
of the series
Joe.
in 2 weeks.
Stop trying to change the subject, Joe. Next week, I don't know if Joe will be with. Oh no, next week
I will not.
Next week will be the season finale, but the week after that, on Sunday, the week before Game of Thrones premiere, Joe and I will do a full preview cast with our death predictions and all of that stuff. So April 7th, join us live at 10:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for Joe Dirty Locks to be back, and the week before Game of Thrones comes back, and then on April 14th and every week after that for 6 weeks we'll be on after the episode airs. I think Joe will be with me all of the episodes, or at least most of them, so we will have tons of fun, and obviously we'll be doing a lot more shit like that. So again, we're avoiding the conversation here, but we start off with some long-haired dude fighting zombies, and the blonde comes out and says, "Happy anniversary," and she says, "I have a perfect anniversary gift for him, and it's not sex. It's the hilltop, or the kingdom. It's hilltop." So then we flash, and it's been 5 years. She makes him this H, what is it, a piece of wood or something that has H for hilltop on it. And she says Miles, and they talk about the daily stuff, and it's so beautiful. And I just had trouble with this beginning scene because these characters I didn't care about, and it seemed to come out of nowhere. But it was an all right beginning here, Joe. It's
I don't care about any of the characters. I care about I like I like Craig there, the guitarist there. What's his name? Craig, right?
Or Balls of Fury guy, whatever his name is.
Yeah, Craig. And I like Thief. Is that his name? Craig Thief. And I like the deaf chick.
Oh yeah,
I like our new crew. Right?
I generally like all of them too. I think, and
I want Daryl to have some affection towards someone.
Yeah,
that wasn't Rick.
And they
or Carol.
And Joe,
I want him to get up.
They have legit chemistry. Daryl
and
and what's her name chick? I'm blanking on her name all the time. But they have legitimate, when they have scenes together, I give a shit.
I think it's greased up deaf girl.
That works. Soon to be. But I do care about their interactions, and I feel like I want them to. I feel like I'm getting all 90210, and I want them to bang. I'm like, oh, let Daryl just bang her. Like when he walks up to her at the end before.
I don't want them to bang. I want them to have a long-lasting, loving, caring, full relationship film.
Okay, of course. Isn't that what we all want? Don't we all want someone we can get some? Don't we all want some birth control and blood tests? And Chalk Boy, I'm with you too. If anyone I don't like out of the new crew, it's Liquid Hot Magma. She's the only one I sort of haven't.
Who?
Magna. You keep saying who? The other girl.
Oh, is she the other the Australian sounding one, or is she the?
No, she's that girl's girlfriend.
See, okay, wasn't she all upset that her boyfriend died like 4 weeks ago?
No, I don't think so.
4 episodes ago.
No,
5 episodes
no, they
ago,
they came in
she
together.
Was pissed
They,
at her.
No, you're confusing people. They came in together. We were introduced to them. They were already a couple.
No. If you remember when they were introduced, the chick that kisses, I guess, MAGA, was upset that her boyfriend didn't make it. That her boyfriend died, and it was really fucking recent. So this I don't understand. I don't remember.
Not their
them
boyfriend.
being
Bernie was
close like
not
this
their boyfriend.
or
Bernie
being
was
together like this.
Not Artari says not their boyfriend, just their friend. No, we were introduced. They were already a couple.
I haven't seen any affection towards each other.
They make out
This
almost
was
every
the
episode.
first. They haven't kissed yet.
Yeah, they have.
No.
You're blanking. They definitely have.
I'm not blanking. I remember when girls kiss girls too.
You make note of that stuff. I get you.
I make note of that kind of shit. yo.
Okay. The Highwaymen were less relevant than the Porg. So I want a hug. Brian Dodd wants a hug. Give Brian Dodd a fucking hug.
The Porg.
The Porg were in. It's a Star Wars thing. The Porg, those little things that.
those little fuckers.
Yeah, those little fuckers.
Oh my god.
Atari Dad says, Joe, you're right. There wasn't any affection before this.
Thank you. There wasn't. And I do remember her being very upset that there was a man in their group that did not make it, that we never saw, that she was upset that had died. And the other people in that group told our group about it. And it was, I think it even might have been brought up when Craig went and found all his fucking musical instruments or some shit like that.
Now, Centovia Major says, yeah, they did kiss in this episode. And Blue Steel says, oh, fuck, guys, the Highwaymen never got to watch that movie. Saddest part of the episode. And
they did kiss in this episode. That was very, they smooched. And I looked at Katie and I said, what is that? Are they together, or was that just like when Elia showed up the other night at your house, Phil, and I was like, give me a kiss. You know, because my hands were full doing something. I was like, just give me a kiss. I haven't seen him in 3 years. Or some shit like that. And he was like, nah. Like I was asking him to fucking stick his tongue in my mouth.
Yeah, well.
Give me a kiss on the cheek.
That's happened before.
And his son after us, for Christ's sakes. You won't kiss me on the cheek? Damn it.
Okay, so we cut to them dead on the ground after a little bit of these two intro people, and someone's singing, and it's Alpha. She's whistling like Negan. I mean, she's singing. And then we focus on the hilltop symbol, and the episode is on. Then we come back in, and Ezekiel's giving his pre-fair speech.
Was to build community and strengthen the bonds between us. A man who had to destroy the very thing that connected us.
They signed it fucking king and queen. Are you
In order
fucking
to save
kidding
us.
me? That was fucking dumb.
It took us far too long to fulfill
Bernie.
the promise of what Rick Grimes and his son Carl envisioned.
Carol offered the Highwaymen an advanced screening of Avengers Endgame, and that's what happened. What's up, Cattigat? Paul. We got Paul and Cattigat, who are shit buddies, who are car commanding shit buddies. Jesus, Phil, you missed the Breaking Bad reference. I missed a Breaking Bad reference? What the fuck? What'd I miss? Jesus. Jason Voorhees, you're gonna have to sneak up to me in the middle of the night and stab me with a fucking, with a machete. Well, how the fuck did I miss that? Did anyone notice the paper mache Shiva? Yeah, I was going to say that in a second. So Zeke's giving his pre-event speech. And we get a paper mache tiger. And we hear about Rick and Carl and Jesus. Rick and Carl and Jesus. And we see all of our friends. Things are so happy. And Jerry is so happy too, Joe. Jerry's very happy. So they're running for a common ground, and it's an obvious setup for shitty shit to start. And Jerry and Zeke go back and forth, and it's the start of a new beginning. And that's one of the things that I saw in this episode right from the start, and I think everyone could see this. They set it up relatively good in the sense to lull you into a sense of moderate security before the shit goes down. You better be ready. Damn it, Phil, you got my bad pun wrong. I did? I'm fucking all up tonight. We saw Birdie as a zombie. Hello, I'm Deborah, and Hi, I'm Deborah, and I'm talking creepy, legit. Yep, it looked more real than the CG tiger. Alpha is singing Todd's ringtone. Oh, was Alpha really singing Todd's ringtone? Oh, that's freaking awesome. Wonder if Baby Huey was the only cartoon that AMC had rights to. As time goes on, I realize what you mean to me. Damn it, Phil. What did I do? What did I get wrong? Did anyone know Oh, I did. Okay. Here we go. I'm going to try it one more time, Atari Dad. Did anyone notice the paper mache? The paper mache Shiva? I love it, buddy. I love you guys. Alpha sexy. I thought Alpha looked sexy when she was in her wig and mask thing going on there. Also, why the fuck is Shiva? Why is the Shiva Funko worth over $80? It doesn't make any sense. Lydia, Lydia. We're talking Lydia. Ooh. Sorry. Okay. I love all you guys in the live motherfucking chat. Thank you for joining me tonight. Even though I'm under the wetter, I'm a little wetter under my thing. I'm under the weather. Talking to you guys and babbling about this episode makes it all the better. Okay, so Zeke is happy. Everyone is happy. Zeke walks over to Carol.
I should be going with you. It's my duty to go with you. I'm his father.
Now you're also the king. It's bad enough I'm leaving. If you go too, everybody's gonna want to know why. We put months of work into this fair. The kingdom needs you here.
Are we going or what? My sister's out there soon.
Now,
What was the saddest Pike death for you? Henry, Tara, Enid, or anyone else? Oh, TJ and Ozzy. Oh no, DJ and freaking Ozzy.
Enid was the saddest death for me. Over the last 3 or 4 episodes, I was actually starting to enjoy her a lot more. She lost this
Do you wish that they decided to keep her alive instead of Sadiq as the doctor?
Yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Absolutely. 100%.
Sadiq's a horrible
He is
actor.
The biggest loss on those Pikes. Maybe one of the people we don't know could have been when that redhead chick showed up and was like, I hope you find what you're looking for, Henry. Like, I was like, oh, cool. And then, yeah. No.
Atari Dad says the saddest was Addie. She was a nice and innocent girl for this world. Can we change Henry to Hank? Kill him, damn it. So who's going to get the Carl comic book storyline? Lydia. For people that know the comics, definitely it's probably going to, and I don't know, but I'm assuming Lydia's the only one left, unless they give it to Judith.
Who's Lydia?
Lydia is the Whisper girl, the daughter, Henry's girlfriend.
How can she have what?
I don't know what the storyline is. I'm reading the chat. I don't know what Carl's storyline is.
She's part of that storyline already. Like,
so it's going to be Judith.
Anybody? Of course, it would be Judith.
It's going to be Judith. Sadiq is.
And I bet there's going to be another couple of year time jump or some shit too.
And I agree with Joe. And Tara was also so sad as well. I would go.
Tara was not sad. Tara was not sad. Tara was useless. Like. Right from the start.
Are you sad about
I haven't liked Tara.
Are you sad about your Highwaymen?
I've never been like Tara. Oh, Tara.
Are you sad about your Highwaymen because you liked them a few episodes ago?
Did they die?
Yeah, they did.
Because they showed up.
Yeah, or we see them on the Pikes, the main highway guys. Definitely the Highwaymen are, or the main highway guy.
Are we sure?
Yes, he was the first one we saw.
He was Frankie?
He was one of the first ones we saw with the 2 highway guys, right? People can tell me in the live chat if I'm wrong. I'm pretty sure.
I don't know. It's hard to tell because the even when they showed Ned Stark's head on a spike, it didn't look like Ned Stark. Fucking Jason Voorhees, not Jason Voorhees. Mike Myers' mask doesn't look like fucking William Shatner to me. No matter how many times you tell me it's him, it just doesn't look like him. Like. No head on a Pike. No, oh yeah, the dude had to sit in a chair for 12 hours while we made a mold of his face and poured the latex.
I thought these heads actually looked like
that.
I thought these ones did.
Lydia did. Grace definitely did. Grace looked like Grace. Lydia did. Tara did. Our main characters I recognize, but the other ones I didn't recognize. Did they actually show up? Was that the scene? Is that how they ended up fighting back at the end when Sadiq was doing
they showed up. They showed up and saved them.
Showed up, but too late.
Yeah, but a little bit too late. This episode.
How did they kidnap all those fucking people out of the town? Nobody fucking noticed. People getting dragged away. Nobody yelled.
Yeah,
they all just fucking sapped on the back of the head with a blackjack and fucking gone.
That is a good question because we see the moments right before they were kidnapped and everyone's reaction from them missing, but we don't actually see how Alpha got them all. How did she individually take each one by herself? Did she have others?
How many fucking strangers are running around this town?
How did she do? No, or is it just Alpha? Was Alpha the only spy there, and she was dragging them out one at a time?
She's the only one we saw. She's the only one that they let on to that was there.
Yeah, and I agree with Ghost Wolf. This show needs an editor that can actually cut things that need. This episode should have been an hour long, and instead it was an hour and a half and was padded out.
But this episode rightfully should have been 2 episodes. The problem isn't necessarily the editing; it's the production decisions about.
There's a lot of problems, Joe. Let's be fair. Let's be fair. There's a lot of problems. Okay.
Like, you split it 8 and 8. Like, why are you having 16 episode seasons? This is your fucking cash cow.
I think Broke has it. Alpha is an evil speedster like Zoom or like the Reverse Flash. I believe you. I believe you were right on that one, Broke.
Like, and she kills another one of her own fucking people.
Like
what the fuck,
ladies and gentlemen,
who's following this bitch? Who is following this psychotic bitch? Names herself fucking Alpha, and then kills people. Doesn't follow her own fucking rules. Are you kidding me?
Now,
everybody's just psyched to be in her fucking civilized fucking world.
Corey Mitchell has a run on this one. He says, "Free candy if you come outside the fair with me. That's what lured people out."
Can somebody help me find my puppy? Katie was convinced it was going to be Dog's head on his spike.
Oh, not Dog.
I'm so happy, Dog. If Dog had been on his spike.
we riot. We riot if Dog's up there. Walking David in the live motherfucking chat, who we were just talking about, he says, "Guys, best episode of The Walking Dead since Tara was introduced. Tara dead, Henry dead, Enid dead. Fuck the other random deaths, but literally, Walking David has come in his television pants right now. Tara and Enid both die in the same episode. Literally, we need to have a celebration just for David because this is everything he's ever been asking for. Like every time he goes to bed at night and wishes his television wishes, can Enid and Tara both die, and he got it all in one episode.
It's good for us to have a voice in Hollywood. He can get the messages through to
David is out in Hollywood doing our work for us right there. He made this happen. Let's not ignore the fact that Joe and I have made things happen on the show. David manifested this truth. They chose those two when they picked.
Tom, you're absolutely right.
Have a good night, lady.
He saw her crying. He doesn't know who this fucking bitch is. She goes like this, and he gets close enough to get stabbed in the fucking head. Are you kidding me? Yeah, they're whisperers, but you're not expecting that? You've seen her fucking murder other people. What?
Yeah.
What?
Santovia says she has a gazillion people following her. Who the fuck would follow this, you lunatic? What the?
Right?
Santovia Major is always dropping the logic bombs here. Like, what the fuck? What is going on?
Lunatic. Why would you ever okay, she's right. Not just like in the middle of the night. I'm out of here. That chick is fucking loony.
Walking David is running over to AMC to scream them how hard they made me come. Abigail asks, "Who?" This is a question for Joe. Joe, I think I know what the answer is going to be here, but who's? No, let me ask the question first. Who's the better TV leader? Because there's people just listening to the audio cast. Who's the best TV leader? TV Negan or TV Alpha?
They're the same. They are the same person.
And Alpha's the better looking.
There hasn't been any. What is the difference? You explain to me.
I will. I'm going to explain the difference.
No. I want Abigail to explain to me the difference between Negan and Alpha, and then I will decide who was a better leader.
Can I give my perspective of the difference? Alpha sings and Negan whistles.
Alpha sings.
Yeah, she was singing when she was killing people this episode. She was singing Todd's Ring.
We saw her kill people this episode?
Yeah, she killed the fucking 2 people at the beginning. You missed this cold opening.
I missed the cold opening.
She killed those 2 characters that we got introduced to right at the beginning that were members of Hilltop, and she's singing apparently Todd's ringtone from Breaking Bad.
And whistling is still both making melody.
Okay. Negan is in Tekken 7. Anyone but the king would be creeped out talking to Alpha. Alpha's a better actress, says Apulia. The governor would have
Rampage, which is a fucking awesome movie.
The governors would piss on both of them. Walking David is going to leave us a voicemail. Cannot wait for that. If anyone else wants to leave a voicemail, 781-990-8509. Has Negan been in more than 5 episodes this season? I think it's about 5.
Longer. So isn't Negan.
Get Negan a chair. I don't know. They're both sexy though, says Abigail. And I mean, I can't deny that. So I think the main difference between the two of them, if I have to offer a different perspective, is God. I think it's maybe the way that they run their groups is different in the sense of what they preach. They may be preaching in similar ways, but they preach a different ideology of some sort. I think lies the difference.
No. They kill whoever they run across because they can't be trusted.
But one lives in nature. And looks at the walkers.
They're the same leader, Phil.
I'm trying. I'm not. I'm trying to argue a little bit of devil's advocate here because I do see a lot of similarities with them. To me, unique villains that we've had on the show come down to 3 that I'm just pointing out. It's usually those one-offs. We talk about Mayor Joe Hale a lot, but the Claimers I thought was very interesting. I thought the Terminus villain Gareth was very cool and kind of a different sort of take. I thought the governor was the good first prototype of what they've tried to redo with him a couple times. But I think the governor, especially the second run on the governor, was a lot better than the first run.
I like that governor, the governor standalone.
And I think the second time we were introduced on the Governor 2.0 situation was a little bit better than the first one. But I still think in general he was probably the most effective of the group. And with the Negan thing, I keep going back to miscasting, and I think in miswriting on that. Alpha, I don't like how she talks. I don't like the choice of. I think the actress is good in her body mannerisms and the way she changes it, because especially in this episode when she's in character of the person that's infiltrating the kingdom, she can talk normal. So this is a choice. So she's talking like an asshole for a choice. Well,
yep.
Fuck you. Fucking. Go to your summer stock theater, Alpha, with your stupid accents. I don't want to hear that shit.
Yep.
Well, Alpha kills one of her followers every week, Phil. There's that. Negan will riot. No one kills his orange-headed wife. Oh, maybe that's what's going to freak out. Negan's going to start leading the charge against... We can't stop the Whispers unless we have an evil leader on our side, too. So we're going to let out Magneto out of this cage, and he's going to lead our group. Negan is a hedonist. Alpha's more of a Spartan, Joe, says Atari Dad.
I don't know if I'd call Negan a hedonist.
Irish, Scottish. Yeah, TV Alpha is not working for me, says Cattigat. Negan is a typical politician, promises a life while taking most for himself. Alpha provides no promises. That's a good one. A good separating force between the two of them. Negan makes a lot of promises. Alpha just acts like an idiot and kills you. Hey Phil, your perceptive is fuck. The scars in the episode were lame, not filled with inconsistencies. Tonight's episode was chilled, wrapped up with a bang.
Promises, Richard. Sorry, Phil, I didn't mean to interrupt you.
No, that's okay.
Sorry.
And
She promises shit. I'll keep you safe. New way of life. You know, you can challenge me and become leader. She makes fucking promises.
And people were trying to compare this to the Red Wedding. No, this wasn't a Red Wedding comparison. I think they did a good job. If you didn't,
it's so stupid that none of the deaths happened on screen. Give me the 7 abductions and the 9 abductions, whatever it was.
Were you shocked at all by the death at the end of the episode?
No, not a single head on the pike shocked me. Like, you see 7, so you know you're going to see people you know.
Yeah, soldiers agreeing with me. Alpha whispers, Negan whistles. Alpha also sings a little bit. So let's continue here. Zeke gives his little speech. We get back with Henry and his girl. Lydia and Henry and Carol embrace, and they talk, and it's wonderful. Then Michonne, who was in the neighborhood, so she comes in, and Carol sees Judith. And okay, this was the scene. This was I always have to have one where I try to rationalize why it was a good scene. I thought the scene between Carol and Judith, when Judith turns to Ezekiel and Carol, and Carol's like, "Do you remember me? Is this Judith?" And Judith says, "Yeah, I've been drawing you every week," or something like that. Whatever was going on there got me for a second, where I was like, "Oh, they used to all be friends and they're not." That I thought was one of the better scenes of the episode, because I
no, because whatever your fucking problem is. You killed a bunch of kids. Your friend from 15 years ago, before the apocalypse started, betrayed you or whatever. So all of your other current friends,
hey Lindsay,
you have decided I don't care about anymore. So Carol never went over to, in 5 years, Carol never visited Alexandria.
Yeah, I mean,
like that's fucking. I don't understand that. That doesn't make any sense to me. Nobody's allowed to visit. None of the people we know, if you don't live here, you can't come here. Like, what? That still makes no sense to me. These are the people that all fuck. Carol saved your life. You saved Carol's life. You guys are like family and sisters. But no, you can't come visit Carol. Like, why didn't Carol go visit? She doesn't like anybody else over at the kingdom. She doesn't have anything to say to any of the 50 fucking people that live there that she's made relationships with.
Abigail. Or Alexandria, you mean? But Abigail says, "I just can't with Carol's wig." Maybe that's the thing. And Adele says they didn't set up the Whispers very well, unless they do more next series. I don't know any of these 7 people on the pike, says Mike. Jason Voorhees says, if this was the Red Wedding version, you would have had Ezekiel, Jerry, Tara, Rosita, Gabriel, Magna, Lydia, and Eugene up on those pikes. And I would add Michonne and Daryl too. Carol was too busy watching Puff Puff Pass Phil. Carol of the Riviera. Okay, So Michonne and for whatever it's worth, that scene got me a little bit, anyways. So we get back and let's see what the hell this is. Let me listen to the audio because I'm not.
I was just trying to protect my family and do right by my.
This is our meeting of all the groups. Let's listen to a little bit of this.
Alexandria's future is here, together, with you. And we lost sight of that for a while. But I'm here now. We're here now.
I've taken an informal vote with the other council members at the fair, and we all agree. Alexandria is willing to.
So basically, in all of this, we get them all agreeing to sign a pact that if anyone fucks with anybody, they'll all protect each other, and they are going to go to Hilltop to protect the threat because they think the Whispers are going to attack Hilltop, and we'll all work together. So Oceanside Kingdom, they all sign, and it's Sarah, Carol, and Ezekiel sign as king and queen, as Joe pointed out earlier. Then we come in and we see the fair, and we see the medical tent. We see Henry and Lydia. We see Judith and throwing Eugene into a dunking tank. We see Lydia and Henry. We see both of them. We see they're all everyone wants to go watch the movie that's coming up pretty soon too, but Lydia can't do it. And Carol is there, and they're all going to agree and have fun. No, they're all going to watch fun. And they talk. I'm sorry. I'm trying to read my fucking writing, and I'm distractible tonight. So basically, Henry and Lydia make a date to go to the movies, and they're gonna have a happy movie date. And Ezekiel and Carol talk about where's the time gone that our son has a movie date, and that's the craziest thing I've ever heard. So then we get a scene with Michonne talking to Sadiq about Rick for a second. And Ezekiel in Sadiq is going to take her place. But no, okay, we see Jerry and his kid hanging with Judith. And we get this sort of back and forth with them on who's going to go. No, you stay, you go, blah, blah, blah. So then we get the scene with Glasses girl Addie wants to talk to Henry. And she's smiling and she apologizes. And we hear someone playing guitar in the background. And the music in this episode was really draggy. I don't really like it. So then we come over and Henry and Addie are talking, and the other kids come over and they start harassing Lydia about saying, well, Henry and Addie are totally going to bang one day, and you're just in the way. And if you fuck with us, you know, you better not fuck with us. You're one of our members now, so you have to care about us. And why don't you come hook up with both of us? Henry and Addie are a couple. Some weird shit like that. And we go back. Here we go, and dun 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 dun. Okay, so let's continue here. And what does Jesus did die for our sins? Rick is gonna be sad when he sees Judith turn into a twat. Jesus basically died for nothing. Let that sink in, motherfuckers. Rick is going to be sad when he sees that Judith turned into that 20, but not really, because it's Shane's kid and he knows that. Not that Tara and Jesus are dead. That is going to be the reason Maggie comes back. Do we really think Maggie will ever come back? Just let this show die, says Jacob. Before he said, it does. I do. I absolutely do. Here we go. Bum 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 bum. And let's go back here. So then we get what it lacked in emotional impact was the main thing that made the iconic scene in the comics. I do miss Shane as well. Thank you, Natalie. I appreciate that. So anyways, let's go. Wait, there is? That happens? So Daryl and Tara, Daryl and the girl with the notes says, be safe, and they have this moment where it looks like to me that they were going to hook up or something. There's some action, there's some 90210 action going on there, but it doesn't happen. It's just about dog. And he's like, listen, will you take care of my dog? And you know when Daryl tells you to take care of his dog, that's really means will you shower me and bathe me and have your way with me? So, the difference is Negan has a bat and Alpha has a mask. There it goes. Phil, Lydia's 19, so I can say that I like her young perky. Woohoo, yeah. The titties. Yes, you can say that, Tom. It's perfectly acceptable. Natalie, you're the best. Daryl is an eternal cock tease. He kind of is. Will Daryl ever actually give it up to somebody else, or will he just flirt and then go distant? I think that's his mission. Rosita Ezekiel Jerry should have been out there, but Henry made no more sense.
Hey. Question.
Yes.
Has there been any super chat donation?
Oh, not yet, Joe. So no shots necessary. So Lynetta says
why? Why?
Anyways,
why?
Lynetta says this episode was.
Wait. Why? That's not a question to you. It's a question to you.
We'll worry about that.
Sorry, I got to shill.
Stop shilling. Now's not the time to show. There's time and a place for that stuff, Joe. This episode was so hilarious. I never laughed
Hold on. I got to open my beer.
This episode was so hilarious, says Lynetta. I never laughed so hard as what I did when Sadiq was giving that speech and showing all the people who died. Ironically, I didn't give a hootenanny about any of them. Lynetta, that speech was horrible. It was the worst. If they had ended the episode right on the pikes, I mentioned this earlier, it would have been so much better. They didn't need to have Sadiq giving that speech. Instead, they have an awful actor give a long monologue that means nothing. I did not hear the voicemail yet, David.
I'll play it now. Okay,
now let's play David's voicemail right now.
Play David's voicemail.
We got some from Jay. We'll play a little bit later too, but let's play David's first. We like to get to Jay at the end of the episode, and it puts us in a bunch of different directions. So let's listen to our good friend, the Walking David, see what he has to say.
Guys, holy fucking shit! Sharon fucking gone! Eden is fucking gone! Henry is gone! Every single person in the motherfucking chat. If you have no idea what it's like to take that pill that Bradley Cooper takes in the movie Limitless, this is it.
NZT.
I am running right now. I came in my pants so hard. I shit in my pants as I came. This might be the best day of The Walking Dead history in the last 3 or 4 years.
Oh my goodness.
Holy fucking shit.
Oh my goodness,
Goodbye,
David.
BMC cast. Get the fuck out of here, highwaymen. You dumb cunts. Love you guys, bye.
Seriously, Joe, we've known David a while now, a few years here.
Yep.
That might be the happiest I've ever heard David. David was so David was so fucking excited there. It's crazy. Walking David, eat it. Oh my goodness. It was so fucking happy. David, and yes, it is amazing. It's happy days for David. I almost want to play that message again just to hear his joy. Listen to his joy.
Guys, holy fucking shit! Sharon's fucking gone! Eden is fucking gone! Henry is gone!
I think I need to voice capture that and get a sound cue of that. Holy fucking shit! But yeah, David, people are like, drink it up, Joe. Drink it up. Protect the dog.
Everybody likes Joe better drunk except Katie.
Yeah. But I love the Walking David. Zima. Joe only drinks Zimas. That is very true.
No. Joe liked a Zima occasionally as like a beverage on a hot day until it was like, yeah, that's just a heartburn in a bottle. Wine coolers aren't bad. You know, those are classified as beer. I bet you didn't know that.
Yeah.
Look at the label of the wine cooler. It says beer on it.
I was always a fan of the Bacardi Breezer in my early drinking days.
Yep, that's a beer.
Yeah.
That's a beer. Technically, that is considered a beer.
Delicious. Those tropical wine coolers, as Mike says. Cheers to everybody in the live chat. Yeah, the caller audio, David's audio was a little soft there, but I think it was just his phone connection. As we'll listen to a quick message from Jay just to make sure it's on my phone system. Let's listen to the voicemail. It hasn't kicked in yet.
David and I are going to have a long claw flight one day.
I'll watch that. I will definitely watch it.
Either I got to come out to California, we got to have a long claw battle, or you got to come out to Mass. One or the other. Maybe one of our AMC friends can pay for the whole thing
somewhere. And if it was born, is it like one of the people there, or did it die sometime later, or something like that? All right, later.
Oh wait, I didn't hear that. Let's listen to Jay's question.
Hey, I watched a little bit of the beginning of the episode actually today, so I just got a quick question. Did Carol and the that king dude that had the lion like bang and have a kid, or like did they like adopt some kid and then like in the time?
He asked if Carol and Ezekiel banged, and yeah, they did bang. But they didn't have a kid. They
not had kids. No.
they adopted Henry. And we got our first
Henry was the little brother to the there was an older kid a couple seasons ago that dies that what was his name that went over to the other show?
Morgan
was training, and that other kid died and left Henry alone, and he had no older brother, no parents.
So Ezekiel and Carol.
So they decided to loosely say, okay, we're your parents. Go do whatever you want.
They did it in the 5-year time jump thing. So we got our first super chat donation from K Rich. 3 fucking weeks to Game of Thrones. Let's spin the wheel for K Rich, motherfucker. Thank you so much for that super chat donation. Joe Shield and you answered the call. Did you answer the call, Lord Glover? I answered the call. K Rich answered the call like little Leanna. Way to go. Here we go. Fandom, do you see it? And it landed on silly hat, so I have to wear a silly
We
hat.
got two have come in now, Phil.
Oh, and the Walking David gets us too. Let me wear a wolf on my head here for a few seconds. If you can pick your 10 death pikes, who would it be? For me, for proper, it would be Michonne, Daryl, Carol, or any of our actual main characters.
No. Here you go. Like, in order for the Pike deaths to have meant anything, again, AMC has a big fucking problem, and I cannot understand
And
why
for you,
they
David,
have not addressed this. These people need to be put on fucking lockdown. Like these kind of leaks.
Abigail, it's weed.
Bullshit. Like, yes, there's source material out there, but they try to do their best to keep it fresh and original for viewers who have read the source material and for viewers who haven't. And like, again, I'm going to bring in the greatest show of all time as the example here.
Breaking Bad?
Game of Thrones does things that the source material was out there. Everybody knows it's out there. Everybody has a chance to read it, and people have. But the moments that come are still shocking. They're still done well. They're still done to the point where, holy fuck, I can't believe I just watched that.
And I would say The Walking Dead used to be able to do that. I think in the scene with Rick in the town when he shoots even as late as when Rick rides in Alexandria and he kills that dude's husband and fucks the wife and stuff. All that shit I thought was done shocking with him biting the face. I thought it was filmed well. But does that all have to do with Andrew Lincoln? Or is that the show?
It has to do with the fact that none of that shit is leaked. When you know, for the last 3 weeks on television, or the last week anyway, anytime I opened up my phone that had like news feeds, there was always a fucking article headline, and I'm sure everybody in this fucking chat sees it too with their smartphones, that says like, these people are gonna die. These people are gonna die. Get ready for the deaths.
And it's like
we know Michonne is gone next year, and we knew Rick was leaving, and we knew fucking Abraham was leaving, and we knew that people were going to die for Negan, and they let us wait for 6 months. So none of it's a surprise. They have removed any kind of anticipation, or they removed surprise for anticipation, and anticipation isn't something that makes you want to watch. Okay, we can anticipate all week that people are going to die. Who's it going to fucking be? So, like over the 6 months before they killed fucking Glenn and Abraham, you get to think for a week. Oh, it's going to be Daryl. It's going to be Carol. It's going to be Tara. It's going to be Enid. It's going to be fucking Michonne. So you mourn all your favorite characters, and then you find out who it is, and there's no need to mourn. There's no need for surprise because you knew it was happening. You knew people were going to die.
David says,
it doesn't matter how many they fucking kill in that episode, you knew it was going to happen. So you killed 1, you killed 3, you killed 9. You knew. So you're not upset. You're not like, oh my God. And they're like for the 10 minutes before, you'll see the marker. You'll know. You'll know where the northern border is because you'll know.
That's why. That's why last episode with Michonne killing the kids, I thought was relatively effective.
Nobody knew she was gonna cut down fucking kids.
And
nobody knew she was gonna hack up fucking 10-year-olds
with a pregnant belly. You know, and it was just an awesome visual that you don't often see. And seeing that, I was like, oh, this is The Walking Dead. You felt that small sliver of what the show used to be in that scene, and that's why a lot of people went crazy for last week's episode because they were starving for their TV crackers, and The Walking Dead threw them a cracker of what it used to be, a glimpse of the show's impact at a certain point. David was saying you were saying everything he's been saying for thinking for 3 years. David also gave us another super chat donation. He said, "Please, everyone, have a drink with me," and it actually landed on your pick on the wheel too, David. So everyone, toast a drink. Please have one to celebrate Tara and Ina and Henry finally gone. Let's scroll through the chat a little bit more and see. Sadiq better have constant flashbacks of Tara's death. And the actor who played the kid was the brother of the guy who played him after the time jump. If Daryl's dog head was on the spike, it would have been had more emotional impact than all of these fools killed off combined. Tom says, "Fuck Game of Thrones."
Right. What was that? What did you just read?
He said if Daryl's dog's head was on the spike,
yes, it would have. Yes, it would have. And Katie, like I said earlier, Katie was saying, "Is dog going to be on the spike? Is dog going to be on the spike?" And I'm sitting there saying, "It better not be fucking dog. I don't want to see a dog's head on a spike. I fucking hate that."
It still would have been emotional as fuck. So
it would have been so much better than fucking the 9 people.
Absolutely.
So I would rather see Daryl freak out that dog was dead than anybody else freak out that these 9 characters were dead.
All I'm going to say to Tom himself, who I love you, Tom, you remind me of Joe and I's friend Devin, because you're like, I don't like Game of Thrones because it's too popular. Just because something's popular doesn't mean it's bad. It's something can be popular and good. What?
It showed her killing the kids. We saw her cut them all down.
Yeah, last week we saw it. We actually...
It doesn't count. They didn't show her killing the kids.
Well, I'll get to that in a second. Everybody drink. I think half the people watch the show are in this chat. My choices would be Jerry, Rosita, Ezekiel, Tammy, Tara, Red Shirt, Judith, Red Shirt, and Yumiko.
I would have been Jerry's death. I would have been. I think that would have been more impactful.
Yeah, Tom, you were 100% wrong on this. They definitely. I watched this episode tonight. They definitely showed her hacking down everybody.
Yeah, like calling each one she hacked down. She would call for Judith.
Yeah,
someone else would run at her.
That was an awesome scene. I know we weren't here. We weren't here last week. I legitimately said that is an awesome scene. Game of Thrones is great, but Seinfeld is the greatest show of all time. Sorry, Joe. I love how a pocket knife kills walkers, but pikes don't. Yeah, the pikes. They were alive. They were reanimated. George R. Martin wrote the most amazing books. They're my favorite, but I have problems with Game of Thrones.
All depends on where do you have to get the Abdullah
Mgada or whatever it is or something?
Yeah, you got to get that shit. You got to get the brain because it could have just been in the neck. If you cut the neck, cut the head off at the low enough, stick the spike in only an inch or two. I mean, some heads should have fallen off.
Michonne versus the Children of the Corn. Love that one. Okay, let's continue with this shit. So we got Henry and Ezekiel. They all say their goodbyes. They were in the woods with our group of cowboys. Daryl and the group pop up in the scene. We see these two. We see the useless people. They're there too that we know are going to be dead soon. And they call the Whispers skins at this point, which is interesting. And they talk about some crap. And Daryl and Carol in the group head on with and they split up. Magna and Park group go in one direction, and Yumiko goes with our 3 main characters. So Daryl and his crew are walking, and Carol is like, "Oh, we're getting a good happy ending situation." So let's listen to a little bit of this scene, so I know where the hell I am. And
there's a happy ending.
Oh, here, you think that there is a happy ending?
True. There's often 3 different ways.
Right now,
That makes sense. Come on, head back. Let's go. Go.
They didn't show a single blow in the way that you didn't see the knife, but you saw her slashing at them.
Yeah, she was killing them.
She was killing them. I saw enough that I needed to see. I'm not that. I'm not that bloodthirsty. You saw her go slice. They didn't. If you mean they didn't show her cutting off kids' body parts, I'm fine with that. Okay, not because
It was enough.
If I want to watch that stuff, I'll rent the Faces of Death videos. You want to watch Faces of Death from the night?
Showed her swing.
It was enough. I'm not gonna eat the show's lunch on that one. Come on. They showed enough. Come on, right? Whatever.
I can reenact it. You got any kids? I got a sword.
Send all your children to Joe's house. P.O. Box 236, Marblehead, Mass. 01945.
If the sword doesn't work, I got a machete. I can axe them. I can just club them to death. You send me your kids. We'll get rid of them for you. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, we will. That's our side job. Joe runs a special daycare with the Long Claw. So the Long Claw daycare. You're a pussy, Phil. Hashtag hope doesn't cut off his own. Hashtag
Joe
doesn't cut off his own head. I am. I'm a little bit of a pussy, Joe. Pissy Tom. Oh my God! Blast from the past. What up? The Faces of Death videos, Bernie. I've watched every volume of those damn Face of the Death videos. So
the best and most disturbing one is what? It's the first with the monkey, right?
The monkey, or the one with the person jumping off and they like show the body bounce.
It's the monkey. It's the monkey because the bitch doesn't even eat the brain.
Joe,
She's like, ah!
Joe, I'm going to bed after this.
I monkey shit, but I can't eat it now.
Dude, I wish
they should kill you before you leave that.
I wish I didn't even mention this. Faces of Death, Sweet 94 reference, Phil. Oh my God.
94? Are you kidding? No.
It was late.
Faces of Death is 80s, dude.
Let's not even talk about this. We have the internet right in here. Let me look this
like
up.
86. I'm gonna say 87.
Okay, let's see. Faces of Death monkey. Oh, it's the first thing that comes up, dude. Oh no, I do not want to see this. Oh holy shit. Faces of Death IMDb. The original is 1978. Oh my goodness.
78. Okay, I knew it was yeah. I knew it was earlier than.
But that's the first one. I mean, they went pretty long though. The other ones.
Yeah. Anyway. It was like. But the first, it was years before number 2.
Yeah. It was. Oh my goodness. My good friend, and I'll say Evan R. used to made me watch all those.
I came home with beans, not a sword.
Oh, gross. Okay. So let's move on. So then we get this whole scene where I don't know how to explain this without saying this was just like turdly shot. We see this scene with Daryl and the crew, and then the walkers come up and they sort of fight off the walkers for a bit, and it was the worst film.
No. And I don't understand. They're like, okay, go back. And so they see 5 walkers,
and then they stop and they pause. But I'm sorry, beyond that, we'll get to that in a second, Joe, because hold on that thought, because you're absolutely fucking right on that. They decided to just stop. Why didn't they just go through the 6 walker line that they had there? And that's just fucking stupid. But I just mean the way it was filmed. They decided to focus on their faces and Faces of Death. They started to focus like close-ups, like if the whole podcast was like this, like hey, and like some shit's going on in the background. It was just filmed all wonky too. It didn't really work. It was poorly filmed. It's really stupidly plotted out because again, as Joe was just hinting at, there was a line where they tried to symbolize that they were like trapped there.
They weren't. We saw our heroes cut through 2,500 walkers.
Take over, Joe. I gotta get water.
Alexandria, but 5 show up again, and oh my God, we're gonna die. We can't move. I don't understand this. They know how to kill walkers. They've killed hundreds of them, thousands of them. But 5 show up, and it's a fucking like, oh my God. We're the 4 best killers, 5 best killers. How many was in that 4? In all of Walking Dead universe, because we've lived this long, right? That we've seen, right? But for some reason, whenever like, 5 walkers show up, we get the, oh no, we got to get out of here. Just like the convoy where fucking at the beginning of the season when the shit gets stuck in the mud and they're like, oh no. But then as soon as someone gets bit or almost bit, they decide to, okay, so we'll fight back. Like, why not just, okay, turn around, let's get out of here. Oh no, there's 5 walkers. Kill through them. Oh look, there's fucking 5 whisperers. Kill through them and then keep going.
Yep, and Alpha just Beta just lets Daryl go. And they did the Faces thing in season 6 too when they were killing all the zombies in Alexandria. They fought 20 of them just for a fucking movie projector light, but they can't get through.
Right, 5.
Centurion.
The 5 coming at us from the right. Oh no, we're stuck.
Centurion 1911. Great to have you in the live chat. Says exactly, Joe. I thought Michonne stabbed Jocelyn in the crotch. And yes, someone said just alone the shot of Michonne taking a slash to her pregnant belly was worth it in that scene. And that was pretty cool too.
And yeah, Jocelyn was from True Blood, right?
I've never actually seen True Blood.
She was the vampire, the girl that should never have become a vampire, but that stupid bitch that was the head of the show, the star of the show was like, oh, she's my best friend. She hates vampires. She's done everything she can to kill him, so I'm gonna make her a vampire.
Joe,
me?
I've also asked Carmine this because
What was the
like
point of the fucking branding? I
al-
still don't understand. They branded them with X's. For what? Why? What was the point? To solidify the fact that I'm going to come after you and fucking kill you? You fucking iron poked me? Hot iron poked me? And tried to steal my fucking kids? Are you kidding me? I will stop at nothing to fucking kill you at this point. Why the fuck did they get fucking branded? What was the goddamn fucking point? So we knew something happened in the past? What? What?
So, Joe, just a quick question about True Blood, because I'd asked Carmine this too. I hear it ends really badly. Is it worth watching?
No.
Is it worth watching early for the bad?
Seasons, I would watch, and as soon as Tara gets bit, I think that's her name.
Yeah,
in it.
Broke says that was Tara from True Blood.
Okay, yeah. So as soon as Tara gets bit, turn it off and never watch another scene. It's over at that point. It's like if you were going to tell anybody to watch The Walking Dead, you would say, as soon as Glenn crawls under the dumpster, turn this shit off.
Yeah, turn it. Lindsay says that was my exact reaction to that X branding scene, Joe. My exact reaction. Similar, like, what was the point of the X's? Just so we'd have a reason to know that we needed a flashback later.
Right. That's exactly what it was, and it basically it's AMC saying you're all fucking little kids, and we don't think that you have the capacity to think.
And
like essentially, I can't understand it. It makes no sense. It was gratuitous for no reason.
Yeah,
like
it did
none whatsoever.
Yeah, and it's absolutely. I don't know why, but Kara Kai, for whatever reason, Kara Kai, not whatever reason, because your last name is your last name of your screen name is Kai, makes me think and how excited I am for season 2 of Cobra Kai. And I just watched an interview with Machio and Zapka where they were giving a slight preview of it. They were saying the world is opening up. Kreese is going to be a huge part of this season. And they said if everyone
How are we doing it?
We'll talk about it, but we're definitely gonna do a cast for every episode of it.
Okay,
I don't know if we're gonna
if we're only half-hour episodes.
Yeah,
so
that's probably my second most.
I'll do it all in one day.
Yeah, we're probably gonna.
I'll do it over.
That will be the one. Wait. That will be the one we finally do, where you just come over the house and we watch it, come down here, watch it, come down here.
Okay. Yes, I'll do that. I'm there. Well, when's it fucking air? I'll be there.
They don't have a date. They don't have a date yet, but
all out of fucking work. We will do this shit. I will. I can. Oh my god, I think I'm sick.
Yeah,
I think these are going to be swollen by Cobra Kai air date.
Yeah. You're looking kind of sick. You're looking guys just like you're sick for the season of Game of Thrones too. Every Sunday you're gonna be sick.
Dude, I got them all off, dude.
Nice.
I got them all off. Got 6 Sundays off in a row.
That's fuck. You have 7. You actually have 7 off in a row because you have the week before too.
Oh yeah. You did. And the week at the. Yeah, 7 off in a row.
Yeah, you have 7 off in a row. Okay, so thank you, Joe. I've been asking for a week. That I'm wanting that rant for 7 days. I've been wanting that rant for 7 days.
I don't fucking get it. Blue, man.
You're my boy, Blue.
Row, I'll fucking steer, man. I'll help row occasionally, man. We'll get this boat right.
Yep.
Let's sail it right to fucking AMC and smack some bitches because these motherfuckers do not. This girl, Carol King, was that his name?
Atari Dad says the only time I recall seeing you and Phil together in the same room was shortly after my mom died. Yeah, that was when we did the Walking Dead podcast right in the living room with myself, Joe, and Stephanie. And thank you.
Movies.
We did, but some people. I think that was the only time we did a Walking Dead cast with you in the same room. So some people only check out the Walking Dead, and I think we did like a Vikings cast maybe with us in the same room and stuff too. It's scary to be in the same room with Joe when he's going full Joe rant. I remember there was the Joe rant that you went on, and this isn't speaking about you in third person. It's speaking about your rant in third person. When during it was before after a Vikings episode when you got into your Anthony Hopkins rant. It was my least favorite Joe rant of all time, and I had to sit there next to you while you were Anthony Hopkins ranting. It was awful. It was you're going on one of your Westworld hate trains.
I love Anthony Hopkins. I'm just
no. I don't want to hear it again now. People can look back in that video. I think it's a Vikings.
I love Anthony Hopkins. Don't get me wrong.
Phil, why have you missed a couple of after shows this season? Either being sick or having some technical difficulties. 1 week my cable was out. Like this past week, my cable was out until Monday morning and stuff.
Dude, Verizon is the only way to go in Marblehead. But when I was in that town, sorry.
No, you're right.
it cuts out at certain time. Like for me, it was the every day in the summer months, every day from noon to like 5, I wouldn't have cable. And I call and complain, and they come over and they do something, and then it would be fixed for like a week or two, and then it would start cutting out again. My internet as well.
Yeah,
So
yeah, but it's shit happens.
For some reason, they have a bad Verizon connection.
Shit happens. D says the branding was just to desensitize the kids before the killing the folks.
Why? To make it okay? Like they got branded bad. The kids did the branding, so it's okay to kill them. That still doesn't make any sense. It's okay to kill them because they're about to attack you and stab your pregnant fucking belly. That's what makes it okay to kill them. Nothing they did beforehand. Anything they did beforehand, if they're not immediately threatening your life,
my computer does, Mike.
You can possibly say they're a kid. It's okay. I understand that this bitch Tara has fucking completely fucked your mind up. So or Jocelyn. So Jocelyn. So we're gonna make it okay. We're gonna fix this. You can come back to Alexandria. But when you try to stab my belly with a fucking knife, and I got Rick's baby in there, motherfucker getting cut down.
Yeah, I'm gonna go into protective mother role and kill all you motherfuckers.
Correct. That makes it okay.
Yeah,
that's what makes it okay. Not the branding. Who cares? That doesn't desensitize. Branding an adult does not desensitize the murder of a child.
well,
apples and fucking peanuts, dude.
Apples and penises. Apples in penises. So
peanuts.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Or peanuts.
Either way. So Daryl and his crew, they kill, and eventually they're surrounded by Beta and his little crew there. So then we get Carol and Ezekiel saying their goodbyes, and in the flashback, is this a flashback episode as Henry and Ezekiel say goodbye? We see Henry and Carol say goodbye. We see that one of the people talking to Jerry is Alpha. Okay, that's when we start to realize with the change in the music that Alpha has infiltrated the kingdom. So then we get Rosita in this episode because we need to be reminded that Rosita's pregnant, and her and Eugene have an interesting conversation to set up that they're still friends. And Rosita says, Eugene, just because I'm pregnant, nothing's changed. You can still watch me have sex. I love how she says that. Nothing's changed because the dynamic of their relationship has been that Eugene watched her bang every one of her boyfriends.
That was over 5 years ago. That was only bang. We only ever see her watch Abraham fuck her.
Now, Abigail says the Whispers should have done the X. Mr. X did the X. Professor X did the X. Linus gave no two shits about pregnant Michonne, or no one at all because it was ultimately pointless. And Ronnie heard what I heard. Penises. Eugene is the baby's daddy. Michonne needed some rebound cock after Rick died. Oh, I think Mike is in on this thing right now. Okay, so we get this whole Rosita and fucking Eugene thing.
My body thing is really taking it out of me. I was gonna lay down, but what are you doing?
Well, I traded in some pi-10 light fixtures and a dozen pilgrim people constructed from corn husks for these ham radio parts. I figure if I can get it up and running, that repeater we set up might allow us all to talk to each other.
Now, is Eugene speak lost on you, or do you still find amusement in it at all?
No, that was all just clear. There was nothing wrong with that.
No, I don't think there's anything wrong. It's just his tone or his voice and the way he kind of spells out things.
So his cadence and his accent, those are fine with me. I understand that. He almost seems a little autistic, but it was the other shit, the way was structuring his sentences that was really fucking getting to me. Just like King Ezekiel. He's got an okay cadence. He's got an okay voice. The way he structures his sentences. Thou shalt be in my kingdom for thy life, and protection shall be upon you.
Thyeth don't knoweth, Joeth.
Come on, dude. Like, fuck off. I want to fucking kill you, not be protected by you.
Now that Tara's dead,
why am I listening to some fuck that's like, that's talking like this? You sound like a fucking moron. Talk to me like I'm an adult. You ain't a fucking king. Like, I don't understand how all these adults at the kingdom are like, oh, he's so charming. He's so smart.
He
just such an emperor.
Cattigat says, at first I thought Rosita said you could watch me fuck, but I turned the captions on and she said we can still talk. She can still talk. I kind of thought the same thing, Cattigat. My mind was in the gutter. Lindsay,
Man, is there any video out there?
Lindsay says that Tara is dead. Who the fuck is going to lead the hilltop? Jesus died for nothing. Nothing. Eugene is
Daryl's going back to the hilltop.
So
Daryl's going.
Oh, that's not a bad pick there, Joe. Okay, so Eugene says is doing something. They're basically Rosita's helping him set up a phone system so the communities can talk. So he bumps into some girls for some reason. Then Tara is talking about a training session. Oh yeah, we see Tara talking about winter's coming. She says I'm pretty sure she said winter's coming, and talking about setting up some town training sessions to set it up for winter. And yes, in fact,
why hasn't that already happened?
What winter? Why have we seen a winter
training? Why isn't everybody? Okay, here we go. Why? Even when you're inside the walls, everyone should have a pike, a spear on them at all times. A pike, a spear, a sword, a knife, and a hammer.
Joe, do you know what we need?
Not a lot to fucking carry.
Joe,
and you should never, ever, ever be without it. You know what else you should never be without, Phil? Shit, buddy.
You should never be without your shit, buddy. But Joe, do you know what? I was just thinking as you were saying that when a show like this, The Walking Dead, that we're supposed to believe this universe is, a real, or not a real universe, but some sort of moderate realism to the world, the drama in the world. When a show like Buffy makes more sense, you never saw Buffy or any of the Buffy crew leave the room without having like a bag full of things to stab vampires in. Giles, or was it Giles or Giles? Giles made sure.
My hand would forever be in kung fu grip because I would never, ever, ever let go of my fucking weapon. Even if Katie and I were in bed doing the nasty, my weapon would be in my fucking hand because you never know. You never know. Like, this is the fucking apocalypse. This is the zombies. They are stealth in the woods with fucking leaves on the ground, for Christ's sake. You don't even hear the moaning coming up upon you for some fucking reason. But so why is anybody ever, if you are caught without a weapon in your hand, you spend a night in the fucking brig?
No.
Like, you need to get it across your head. You always have to have something on you to protect yourself. And the best thing is a spear or a spike. And in order to fucking use it properly, you need to be training constantly. Oh, we'll send a couple of our best fighters. Why isn't everybody a fighter? And why aren't they all your best fighters?
And
you need training constantly. You have walled cities. You have downtime. There should be no fucking downtime.
Now, Tom.
Like, are you kidding me? What the fuck is wrong with people? You prepare better for a day of fucking work than you do to live in the fucking zombie apocalypse? You take longer to choose your fucking outfit for the day than you do to decide to be safe in the fucking apocalypse? I can't fathom the choices over all these seasons. Like, is there any kind of fucking fire exit emergency? Oh, we got a secret passage under the wall that even our enemies kind of fucking know about now because fucking Henry showed it to them. Like, are you kidding me?
I have to deal with some stuff in the live chat. Mike, you never saw Buffy? Did I watch 90210 Melrose Place? Yeah, I watched 90210, both the new one and the old one. I never watched Melrose Place for whatever reason, but I did. But I'm a huge 90210 fan. And Buffy.
Hey, you don't understand how big of a 90210 fan.
Yeah, you don't. You're joking, but I'm like a huge 90210 fan.
I'm not joking.
No. Mike is joking in the live chat about like, oh, what are you into 90210? But no, I'm huge because early on, and when television was on in that era, you didn't really have ongoing story arcs in the way you have in all sorts of television shows. Soap operas or 90210s, those were the only shows that had those overarching storylines. So it was.
That started when Phil was in 7th grade. I think I was in 8th grade.
Right, but I didn't start watching it until I was with Caitlin, and Caitlin got me into it, and then I never stopped watching it.
All the originals.
And then I rewatched it all, but I didn't really start watching it until Caitlin made me watch it. Okay, anyways, Buffy had nice titties. I was always more of a Cordelia or Willow fan, but Buffy there's nothing Buffy's not unattractive, but I was always more of a Cordelia.
Oh my God.
Or Willow. I have an Allison Hannigan thing. So.
Oh, Willow is Willow. She's fucking. You know what she does with fucking.
But yeah, you know what she does at band camp, or Lily on How I Met Your Mother is one of the sexiest characters ever on television. But anyways, that's beside the point. If you're going for Buffy superficial points, I always would go to Cordelia. She was golly Miss Cordelia. Anyways.
And thank you.
Yes, but we'll continue it. We'll continue on that one. That's a different conversation altogether. Or you are on the Angel, or you have Angel or Spike, Joe.
I liked Angel when Spike joined.
Oh, so you like both of them together? No, I'm not talking about the show Angel, but the characters.
I like them together.
Yeah, I think they have good chemistry.
I'm not in Angel camp. I'm not in
Spike
camp. I like both characters for what they are and who they are. And when it comes down to it, in the Angel series, in the spinoff, when Spike rejoins, I really like that.
Yeah, they have excellent chemistry. The two of them have really good chemistry together on screen.
That dude is old too. Like he was when they filmed that, he was already in like his 40s or 50s.
Oh, Cadigan's got the member berries and member. You guys remember? Okay, let's continue with this.
No, I don't remember.
So let's
remember the guy from St. Elsewhere that was on that show. He was awesome.
Yeah. Joe and I are more of the different Savage show. We're more the generation of Wonder Years rather than Boy Meets World. So if it comes down to it, you're sort of an age cutoff point. It's like the Mason-Dixon line of television age. Are you a Wonder Year? Which Savage do you subscribe to?
That's a great fucking. Yeah, dude, that's good.
We're more Wonder Years than Boy Meets World, but I am aware of Boy Meets World.
Are you Full House or Boy Meets World?
Yeah, but fucking Fuller House, Joe. Fuller House. Okay, anyway, let's continue. Let's get back to The Walking Dead. Let's get back to The Walking Dead, but to an even better show than that. So
even better.
So we see Enid and their group having a laugh. Then we get Alpha, who's talking normal, and she can talk normal, talk some shit, and she meets Carol, and they head in for the movie, and they're all watching some animated movie, and Alpha sits down next to Lydia. So then we get Alpha's back with her group and talks to them and asks them if they like their new camp with our group of kidnapped people. And Alpha's doing her thing. Daughter is not a concern anymore. Lydia is weak and never lived up to what she was. Alpha says, "You're in no position." She pulls out a gun and she says, "Daryl, come with me." She brings Daryl to show him something and shows him a huge amount or huge horde. So were those weren't whispers. Those were walkers, or were those all whispers?
Whispers were among them, keeping them. She even said, she goes, and my people are among them, guiding them.
Okay, so it was both. It was a combination of both of them.
But no, and there's not that many of them in there. And here's the thing, like, it still kind of makes no sense that they're able to hoard that many. That they don't get bitten and eaten more than just occasionally with that many of them around.
Yeah, and Mike, Zach Morris's trash is hilarious. Mike asked,
those videos are so good.
They're so good.
So good.
Those turn us off. Yeah, turn us off right now and watch all the Zach Morris's trash videos. We were telling you to do that.
So good.
Yeah, they're really funny.
Zach Morris is trash.
Zach Morris is trash.
Fucking
and then Zach drugs his friends and takes all their money and
Zach advocates fucking rape.
Yeah.
And
Zach Morris is trash. I love it. It's great
Zach
show.
Morris does everything he can to fuck over everybody.
At the end, if
those videos are awesome.
Yeah, if we have any more time at the end of this episode, we'll pick up
we
we should, but I was thinking let's just take a synopsis of an episode of Saved by the Bell and do our own version of that for fun, because you could take almost anyone and just be like,
the guy that does those videos is able to pull out, like, I watched the entire Zach Morris series, and then when I watch his videos, I'm like, oh my god, he's so right.
He is. It's good.
Quite in this fight, but when I watch his videos, I'm like, you're so fucking right. You are so right, dude.
Yeah.
That dude is awesome. Thank you for making those videos.
It's fun.
Whatever the fuck your name is.
Funny stuff.
Zach Morris is trash.
Zach Morris then stores a baby in a gym bag who's been crying profusely for hours. Yes, David.
Yes.
Exactly, David. David, write me a script. Write us a script right now. Anyways, okay, let's finish this.
Write us a script. Yes, David. David, write the fucking script. You
Okay.
got it. Oh,
So a very special episode is very funny too, Atari Dad. I like a very special episode because it has a more wider net and talks about other shows. Like a very special episode of Family Matters tonight, or a very special episode of Full House is all about raping a cat or something. It's funny shit. Okay, that's the time when Zach took.
Zach sucker punches Slater over.
That time when Zach Morris took advantage of a homeless girl. Great times.
Zach Morris would get fucked up so hard. Slater was a state champ fucking wrestler. The only way Zach Morris could get an edge on him is by sucker punch. And Slater would take it and fucking fuck Zach up.
And Jay, that's Jay, that's the point. I don't think that guy ever put stuff in the right context. Zach is not trash. Exactly. That's what's hilarious about it. But some of the stuff he does is trash. So anyways, let's continue. Let's finish this fucking Walking Dead episode so we can be done with it. So Alpha says you're in no position. She pulls out the
never be done with it, man.
I know. But Joe, you don't have to be here next week. Shut the fuck up, Joe. Listen, Joe. We're very excited to talk about this episode of The Walking Dead. This is the most exciting we've ever.
We could decide right now to do it Monday morning instead, and then I could be there for it.
Yeah, maybe.
But everybody in the MFC's gotta commit to getting up, calling out of work, and watching us at 10 a.m.
No, I'm getting it done. I'm getting it done next Sunday, Joe, and maybe David will join us if he's around. If not, I'll do it.
David should definitely join you for the finale.
If David is around next week, I'm officially
around next week. Join him for the finale.
Yeah, message me privately, David. We'll talk about it if you're around. If you're not, no worries. I will do it by my lonesome. But anyways, that time Zach Morris sold underage porn, raping a cat. Whoa, Phil, are you LARPing as Shane Dawson, degenerate? I remember that special episode of Home Improvement when JTT's character had that cancer scare. Do it a Monday morning. I don't work anyways. Zach Morris takes an unusual trip to the jungle fever-related pursuit of Lisa Turtle. Why? Because Zach Morris is trash. Okay, so
that time Zach Morris kidnapped a bunch of kids and branded black people.
So let's continue here with I want to just finish this fucking episode. So the community is a shrine to a long dead world. She bitches at them, and Alpha says, so we went on a weird. No one. We can't start talking about Zach Morris. I mean, it's horrible. Okay, so Daryl says she starts setting up that if you will see the message, don't proceed past the line. We're gonna put where your territory is in our territory. If you come past there, we're gonna kill all of you. We'll send our hordes in your direction.
David, you got me fucking dying tonight. Oh my god.
Anyways, so did you know that Zach Morris has a new series called The Passage? He hangs out with a little black girl and vampires. I cannot watch Saved by the Bell anymore, says Broke. And let's continue. So Daryl says shit, and then they look like Alpha's going to fuck her daughter. Oh yeah, we flash into the movie theater. It looks like Alpha's about to fuck her daughter, and Lydia says, "I'm not coming with you. I'm staying with these people. Screw you, Mom."
Back at the camp. I believe in these people. Boys and talk. I'm staying
was that
here.
Before or after she went to the movie theater?
It was a sort of weirdly edited where they had movie theater stuff before and after.
Because here's the thing, if like as soon as like that's a good question. That's why I agree with you about the editing, because if it's before the movie and before what's his name doesn't show up, she never went and told anybody my mom's fucking here. If it's after the movie and what's his name hadn't shown up and then she goes, then it makes a little bit more sense. But like they edited it really strange.
It's
so
it's pretty confusing.
Tell. I don't know.
I wish he didn't fuck her. That would have been. I wish he did fuck her. That would have been hot if it was a little incest.
If she kept the red wig on. I gotta pee.
Okay, so good. While Joe's gone, I'm gonna finish this fucking episode. So here we go. Then Alpha is looking like she's gonna fuck her daughter. She keeps touching her, and they have this talk. She's like, "Mom, just go or die or leave." Alpha says, "We're gonna try to make you stay. You do what you got to do." And they say goodbye in slow motion. She does. Lydia cries, and then we flash back again to her, and we flash over to Daryl and and Alpha talking, and she says, I hope you can really protect my daughter. So then we see Daryl and Carol reunite. The music is drab and sad, and they all four of them walk in the fields. Then we see Beta come to Alpha, and he asks about Lydia, but Alpha wants to be alone because she's sad. Someone else looks at her, and they call it over, and Alpha stabs the dude in the head and says, fuck you guys, I'm going home. Wait, does Alpha sleep with her daughter? I don't know. I don't know if that's established, but there was some weird... I don't know if it was just the way the scene was filmed in a sense, like the Jamie and Cersei sept fucking, that we can people analyze in a different way than it was intentionally filmed. I think in this scene, for whatever reason, this scene came off kind of incesty to me. I don't know if that was the intention, but the way it was filmed to me came off like she was she pinned her up against the wall. She was gonna lean in there. So then we see that scene after we said where Beta comes to Alpha and asks about Lydia, and she wants to be alone, and she says, Opie, go get the fuck out of here, and she stabs the random whisper in the head for no reason apparently. So then we
crying. He saw me cry.
He did. He saw me being emotional. Okay, good. I wasn't the only one getting weird vibes in the Alpha Lydia scene. Cattigat, thank you for not making me feel weird that I wasn't the only one getting the weird feelings in that scene, because it just felt oddly sexual to me, and I don't know why. I don't know if it was intentional or I'm just over sexualized, so I project sex shit everywhere.
Okay, so they make it very clear in the comic books that what goes around with this Alpha crew is that they are very animal basic.
Are they rapey?
And not necessarily rapey, but a different here we go. We're in an age where it is wrong, and I'm not saying it's not. It is absolutely wrong.
Yeah, all levity aside.
Children, but you got to remember that 150 years ago or whatever, people didn't live as long. Women have their or girls start getting mature to reproduce at a young age, 13, 12, whatever.
I mean, Game of Thrones has that stuff a lot.
And Game of Thrones talks about that stuff a lot. Like as soon as, Joffrey says, as soon as you bleed, I got to put a baby in you, like my mom said. So there's that aspect of it, and that's where Alpha is taking her group back. So there's in the books, there's this element of she may or may not have been passed around, or at least been taken by some of the men, or one of the men, or a couple of the men, or whatever in their troop, and that's okay because she is of age.
Tom says there's no rape when you live like animals. That's their logic.
Correct. That's exactly right. It's not rape. That's what animals do. We are animals. We are not a society. We're not a community. We're no different than the dead here, and we're all animal basic.
Susie of House Mavon says, Joe, you're gonna be so mad next episode. They look like they're in Alaska, and it was
winter is coming. They said it. So
Atari Dad says it was more incesty than that Folgers commercial. I know the one you're talking about, Atari Dad. Oh, good. I was the only one getting that vibes. The Alpha Lydia going separate ways was done better in the comics. Just saying, says Lindsay. In the comics, Alpha allows her men to rape because animals rape each other since the whispers are animalistic. Right. That's what Cattigat says. Thank you. So Lindsay says the reason Alpha stabbed the whisper is because he saw her weaker state. It shows weakness, therefore she cannot be the Alpha anymore. It's probably why Beta came over as well too, to be like, stop that shit. Okay, so then we find Sadiq. They find Sadiq as they come from the field, and we see all the heads and the pikes. And we get a quick flash as the hills are alive with the sound of pikeys. And this was done pretty well. And I'm gonna pull up one of Tom's slides here. I'm lazy, so I don't want to show them all, but give me a second here to set this up. No, I don't want to add existing one. Give me a fucking new one, you motherfucker. This one right here, motherfucker. Oh, there we go. Okay, so we see this scene right here as they're walking up. I thought this was a pretty damn good visual at this moment with them walking up and seeing them all right there. But that was pretty cool too. And then we see dirty Diana Darrow there. You'll see it in a second on the playthrough, Joe. You're a little behind me time wise.
Oh, I'm behind you.
Oh, you're always behind me, dude.
That right.
You're always behind me. Speaking of the animalistic nature
1,
here.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
10.
5, 6, 7, 8.
You gotta do. You did that all, Joe. You did that all wrong. If you count like that, you have to go. Well, you have to do the Sesame Street.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10,
11, 12.
No, there isn't an 11 and there isn't a 12.
Okay, so
Why is the chat up there now?
anyways, we'll pretend there's 11 and 12. So and then. So then we see Tara. We need producers in our ears to tell us to do that shit. So we see Tara's dead, and we see Henry's missing, and this is the scene where we talked about this a lot tonight already, where we focus on each individual face that's up there, and we get a little bit of a flash on what happened right before they were particularly kidnapped, or right around the time they were kidnapped. I'd have to watch this again to get the full feel of it, but I thought this was done. Okay, this is weird because I don't care about any of the characters. And this isn't just me trying to come up with something good. I thought the tactic that they used in the scene to show a face of someone that died and then seeing a flashback to try to make you care about what happened to that person by giving you a flash. It was done. It was shit because I didn't care about the characters, but I thought it's an effective tactic to do that.
No, it's not. No, it's not. Show us fucking Enid. Don't show us fucking.
You would have rather to see that. You would have rather
around like where is she? Because then we know it's fucking Enid.
Joe, that the problem is that good point there, but also that the logic of Alpha getting all those people, as you mentioned earlier, getting all those people out of the town is so fucking ridiculous that they couldn't show that because it makes no sense how she did it.
It doesn't.
Did she have a wagon? Did she have?
Right.
Did she knock them all in heads and throw them in the back of a wagon, the radio flyer? And
bodies where? Stash the bodies where? Right. What? How did that
Did she drug them? Did she drug them? Like, I want to know. Inquiring assholes want to know here. Come on, tell me.
Stupid. It was fucking horribly done.
Stupid.
Horribly done.
Carol needs to stay away from those kids.
Why is anybody letting this
girl
walk around alone?
And
you trust her now? You trust her.
And
like they brought her back. All her people did some weird shit in the last.
Whoa!
Get it? I don't get it.
Mike says, "Damn, Joe can count it."
Haven't learned shit.
Mike,
but higher.
Yeah, Joe. Mike's surprised Joe can count to 10. Joe did learn something once. So with Henry dead, will we see King Ezekiel Crapple Morgan start bugging out? I think we'll see him starting to bug out and going all Morgan-y. He'll have the crazy Morgan moments, and I also think we're gonna somehow have to get another character where we're all gonna want to die. A new Ollie. K. Rich says 10 poles and 10 heads. How'd they get the exact right numbers? Duh. They show a split panel of the faces and then people realizing that they're gone. Hey, Phil, did you pick up on that was Tara? Because they threw me off. I thought it was Rosita, not Tara.
I did too. I said, oh, Rosita. And then Kate was like, no, that was Tara. And I was like, oh, okay, good.
I assume her people were waiting outside the walls or something. Those flashbacks did take place throughout the day, so maybe it took her a while. Atari Dad, talking some logic there.
More editing should easily done.
Yeah, exactly. Atari Dad is putting more thought into this than the writers and the editors did. Because I think you're right, Atari Dad, but that's making us do a little bit too much work. I'm not going to say a lot too much work. They could have had one moment at the end, a transitional flashback to show Alpha leaving the kingdom and meeting back up with her people and taking the 10 of them off at the end. Especially considering we had the 7 different endings of this episode, or the 2 long extended endings. They didn't end it on the Pikes. They could have done in the aftermath of the Pike scene, showing Alpha leaving there. And
David's last 2 comments.
Think about this. We had a love triangle struggle this episode between Henry, Glasses Girl, and Lydia. All to make Lydia insecure for a second before Henry got his head fucking cut off.
Way to build tension, writing staff.
Way to go. Sad dick.
Fucking idiots. So right, David. David, you are so right.
Yep. Until we find someone to blame. This scene was translated from the source material nearly perfectly. I just wish they used more characters that we recognize, said Lindsay. And that's my point, Lindsay, is this where maybe you and I, or I'm sorry to group you in with me against Joe here, but I think where you and I are a little different than Joe. I think the scene was shot well in that moment. I thought it was effective if we had cared about the characters who were up there. Who, again, other than David dancing the Irish jig right now for getting his amazing the amazing death of his two least favorite characters, who was up there that we were going to care about? The show was banking on that we were going to care about Henry through all of this shit that they put him through this show. And
or like someone said earlier in the chat, they had been listening to the audiences and the reviews, and they knew the audience was not feeling Henry and did not like Henry. And no matter what Chandler Riggs said in any article or interview about it being really neat that Henry's going to go through my storyline, nobody gave a shit. Nobody liked Henry. Everybody thought he was a shitty actor.
Joe, I love you. I love you, and I think you're onto something, but I think you're giving them too much credit. I think I think that they built it up to try to make you care about Henry, to try to make you care about Grace under fire. And again, that's the older woman.
Why would we care about a kid that made every fucking decision absolutely wrong?
Yeah.
Everything that kid did on screen was the worst thing.
Joe, I'm going to say it.
He didn't make a single intelligent decision. Sorry.
No, I'm going to say no, not one single intelligent decision. I'm going to say this, and this might be controversial to some people. I fucking liked Ollie better than Henry.
Oh, yes.
And let's not talk about what Ollie did because no Game of Thrones spoilers here. But I'm saying the actor gave a better performance. The character made more sense for the decisions he made, and all that shit made way more sense. And I like him. I would hang out with Ollie before I would hang out with Henry. Henry is a gigantic, stupid douchebag. And Ollie was a kid that watched I don't even want to say, but Ollie watched some shit. So you can rationalize what happened to Ollie's mind with what all happened there. Even though fuck Ollie. Fuck Ollie, fuck Ollie, fuck Ollie, fuck Ollie. That all being said, the actor did a 10 billion times better performance, and the character of Henry is a dumbass of epic proportion, and I would rather have a fucking drink with Ollie.
I'm glad I heard you say that because I never understood quite all the Ollie hate because everything he did make sense.
It did, but he was a douchebag. Of course, Ollie for 2020 is broke. Ollie was the #1 archer in his little hamlet.
Champions was the one that said that. Yeah, I read your comment, dude. I was holding on to it. I remember it, and I think that maybe there is. Like Phil doesn't quite agree because they are idiots over there at the AMC. Carol King has not done this.
You keep calling her Carol King. You did that last year. You mean what's her name? Who's the new? Can't disagree with you, Phil. Who's the new showrunner of The Walking Dead? I'm blanking on her name right now.
I thought her name was King.
Maybe you're calling her Carol King like the musician.
I don't even know there was a musician named Carol King.
Yeah. Ronaldo says Ollie had some balls. Yes, and Henry's just a fucking moron. Did anyone like Henry? And did anyone like Henry? Name one person. Mike wants to know.
They gave him a job because his name was Lynch and his sister did an okay job.
Yeah, she's good at the conventions. So basically, they do all of that.
Worst example of nepotism ever. Thank you, Katie.
Yep. Tara is dead. Henry's
request for cleavage from you.
Of course.
I told him they'd have to wait to Game of Thrones.
Yeah. Angela King. Thank you, Susie and Tom himself.
Walking Dead is not worthy.
Yeah. Do you guys hear that? Walking Dead does not get to take a look at Katie's boobs. Okay, it does. It's not worth it. So Joe's kissing a crow right now, and she's not even in human form right now. Katie is in her dog walking form right now. She's gonna warg into her human form for the Game of Thrones podcasts. But right now she is
something special.
Right now she's warged into a dog leash. So she's walking dogs and reading books.
I just kissed a dog leash.
You kissed a dog leash. Yeah. As much as Katie's like, what are you guys talking about? She's only hearing one part of this conversation, so
she can only hear my side.
Yeah, she can only hear Joe's side of the conversation. She's like, what is going on right now? I am not going back on this podcast. What am I thinking going back on this?
She used to wear a choker, right? She used to, when we first started dating, I could finger knit, right? And I had
you could finger. Wait, when you first started dating, you were fingering. What?
I could still finger knit.
Okay,
but I had a wallet chain that I had made. She used to wear a choker with a little, in front of my mom, I was like, "Look what I can do, Mom!" And I put her on a leash. Oh my god.
Yeah, those great memories. Yeah, memories. We'll have to ask the retired nurse that next time she's in the chat. Okay, so then we go over to, after all of this, we see Tara dead, we see Henry, we see all of those people dead, and people in the live chat's like, what's going on here? Okay, so then we go to Sadiq giving the worst speech of all time, maybe, which I actually want to listen to. Wait. I don't know if this is the speech. Or this was the speech. Maybe it's 30.
I haven't gotten that far. The furthest there wasn't quite. There was a border drawn in the comics.
Okay. the question was.
I've only gone through the first 3 compendiums. And here, you know what? I'll make a mess, and we'll look at the last couple of.
Do you know what's sad, Joe?
Ezekiel was alive at the last I saw. Right, that's him right there, and that's like 2 pages from the end, and you can see the spikes here. It says, "Why the fuck? It doesn't make sense. Why would they do that?" That's Rick yelling because Rick is still alive. Let's see here. If you can decide, can you see it? Okay, Phil.
Mm-hmm.
Can you see all the faces? Who are they? Let's decide who they are right now.
Oh, we'll move it up a little bit. That is that. I don't know. You tell me who they are.
I don't know. I don't know. What the fuck?
Joe says he used.
Ken is one. Mark is one. Chart.
Great.
I don't know who that is.
Classic radio here.
Say who that is. That looks like Rosita, maybe, because of the hat.
One looks like Ned Stark. So
there's more on the other page here. We got these guys. I don't know who they are. I don't know who any of them are. Let's see.
Okay, why Joe does this?
Josh is dead. Have you seen Josh? Tammy's dead. I guess that's was it Tammy Grace? Right?
Oh, was that was Grace? That was Grace on Tammy Lee or whatever her name is. So Joe, what we need to do right now is we need to listen to Sadiq's speech. So.
The others. And I saw.
Here we go, everybody.
I was supposed to die with them.
Now, I'm going to nominate, right now I'm nominating the actor that plays Sadiq for a Razzie for this monologue. I think he deserves it, everybody. So let's listen to this amazing delivered monologue.
Me too. Then Alpha whispered in my ear, "Tell them." Something hit me and everything went black. When I woke up, I was alone.
Cynical Lindsay's got the list.
What happened was evil.
Olivia, Erin, Tammy, Amber, Oscar, Ken, Josh, Carter, Rosita, and Ezekiel.
Thank you for killing fucking Tara.
It was evil.
Rosita.
And I think she left me alive to tell you that story.
Oh my God, that's such a bad line read. Like, I'm sorry, I'm not one to usually I do this when David's on because David and I can go all geeky acting here. But give me a flip-flying break, okay? This is such a bad line read. They couldn't have had him do another take on this. Whatever he's doing here doesn't work. That's a director's job. I'm not going to blame the actor because actors don't know. They're just performing. They need a fucking director to say, that's not a good take. Could you give me another one? And do it in a way to make the actor feel fucking good enough to do another fucking take and inspire him to actually give a shit about the performance he's giving. This dude just saw a bunch of shit. He literally doesn't give a fuck about anything. He doesn't give a fuck about anything here. Listen to this. There's no emotion behind this speech. It's literally an actor reading lines. It annoys me.
Yes. Get somebody in there and make that motherfucker cry. Smack him.
Smack him. Put needles in his. Get all
anything to get us some
something.
Emotion
There's no emotion here. It's dead.
Scare you and to drive us all apart again.
Then we're gonna drive us all apart again. Again, I don't want to play this stupid cringe piano music again, but it's what they're doing is having someone say. And once there was a plumber named Mario. He had a brother named Luigi. They lived in a mushroom kingdom fighting a dragon named Bowser. Bowser! I'm telling you, it's Bowser. It's again, you play the sad music and think that's good enough. Not good enough.
I want to tell you a different story.
Yes,
so before the
end.
end,
that would have been so much better than Sadiq. That would have been so
Alec
much
and DJ
better.
found us.
Oh my fucking God, that would have been awesome. End them.
And what it would have been better is Alpha took Judith and had her watch all this shit and reported back. That would have been fucking great, especially because Judith's one of the best actors on the show, so give her more shit to do. Whose bright idea?
Right.
Santovia says, whose bright idea? She's the one with the most life on the show right now. Everyone else, it's a drab performance. Judith, at least the actress, seems like she's having fun. Whose bright idea was it? The Walking Dead monologues are delivered by Rick, Negan, Michonne, and Morgan, not some stupid idiot that can't act at all. And this music, what the fuck? It sounds like somebody's having sex with a fucking what's Weird Al's instrument? The accordion. Someone's having sex with an accordion, and not like rough, mean sex. Big John Studd from the wrestling is having sex with Andre the Giant. They're having a threesome with a fucking accordion.
Opening, and everyone fought back.
Everybody fought back. And then we see that they fought back, but they couldn't do it. They couldn't do enough.
No, they all just gave up.
But thanks for telling us, because we all work together, and we're going to sign the Constitution here. So
and how many? Okay, so here's the thing. We did what we were never going to do in the first place, and we went after your daughter, even though everybody else's children get to fucking die or loved ones get to die, and we don't go after them. All right, now we've gone after them again a second time. A second for your fucking daughter. How many fucking people died when the 10 of us didn't get our heads cut off just by letting you do it?
Ken would have.
So now you've caused the death of 3 people in your camp, 1 from letting you cry, 2 that were upset that they fucking didn't want to go after your fucking bitch daughter in the first place. And then how many more did they kill in that fucking barn before they got their heads cut off? So Alpha, you have completely fucked up your whole troop. If you don't think everybody's talking about what kind of a fucking cunt you are that doesn't follow her own fucking rules, and why half of them haven't fucking run away already and let the fucking horde run wild,
Joe,
100,000 fucking horde run wild, is beyond fucking me.
Joe, it's the same shit. It's the same shit you used to say about Negan. How come no one's fighting back on her? And that's where this is the biggest thing that's comparable between the two of them. I don't see every point that you make of them being the same, but when it comes to why don't more people fight back, and when we finally do see that in the Alpha scene when someone fights back, it was so stupidly done. Because the person, at least when, slight spoiler alert for Game of Thrones, I guess, when someone threatens Drogo, he actually comes at him. He actually tries to make an attempt at it. It goes very similar.
Drogo drops both fucking daggers.
Right. Again, we don't want to talk we don't want to talk too much about that. But yes, it's.
What do you mean we don't want to talk?
We do, but we want to give
nothing about this and only that.
2 weeks, Joe. 2 weeks, and we'll 2 weeks. How long have you been to Maz? 2 weeks.
21 days, dude. That
2
is
weeks.
3 weeks.
No, 2 weeks till we have till we're doing our Game of Thrones podcast. Okay. Our preview cast. No. 2 weeks till we're talking about it. So then we get another ending as we go back. It was brave. We braved the 10. We go to another ending with Lydia, and Lydia seeing that she's talking to Carol and all that sort of shit. And then we find Carol figuring out that Henry's gone, and we get the emotional moment. Joe, how would you compare the emotional moment of Carol finding out that Henry was dead to the finding out that Sophia was dead? And are they brother and sister? Are those the two that are brother and sister? The person that played Sophia and
yes, they are.
So we get to deal with Carol dealing with both of their deaths. Carol kills Linces.
Both Carol's kids were Linces.
Were they? Am I making that up, or is that true? Were they both Linces?
That's true. That's very true. And I thought she gave more of a shit about her daughter than, of course, Henry. And I don't understand. She obviously didn't give a shit about him while he was alive. She let him do whatever the fuck he wanted. She never fucking watched after him. We never see them have like a real like a parent adult fucking any kind of relationship. And the one time they're alone together, she's like, "You're a fucking idiot and you've done everything wrong, and now I got to go burn these people alive,
bro,
and I'm not gonna let you in on what I'm doing."
And, Broke says, love how they're not trying to talk about Game of Thrones, but weeks and weeks ago, they literally talked about Game of Thrones for an hour before we even said recap.
From Lord of the Rings. Mike and Tom. Ah!
Now, Atari Dead says, I don't find Alpha's cult-like shit too far-fetched. Cult members do some really dumb shit, and I imagine it'd be easier to find suckers in this world where survival options are limited.
Oh, he knows, Ronnie. He knows. They both know who Drogo is, Ronnie. They're both just trying to get me fucking upset like Phil does.
No, Drogo's from Gotham. Get it right, guys.
Gotham. Ah!
Joe, come on. There are far worse shows than Gotham, Joe.
I'm pretty sure his name is Drogo the Dragon named Drogo. What?
You are correct, Phil. Sophia and Henry are siblings in real life. Angela King, thank you, D. So we got a couple of voicemails from Jay we're going to play right now, which will sure call us out on some of our stupidity tonight. And then we also have, the voicemail line is still open, so if anyone wants to leave a last-minute call, 781-990-8509. Again, that's 781-990-8509. Let's listen to Jay's messages here. Hey, random question. Let's see if this is the one we already listened to.
Hey, random question, because it's not about tonight's episode. It's just about the show in general. Hey, remember Maggie and Glenn were going to have a baby? Before Maggie left the show, did they make the baby be born, or did Maggie lose the baby somewhere? And if it was born, is it like one of the people there, or did it die sometime later?
No, they basically yada her pregnancy and got her off the show before she even started showing. They said Maggie left, and Maggie was always pregnant, but the time period while she was pregnant and still on the show was shrunk down. It was only supposed to be like 2 weeks, so she never actually showed. But yes, somewhere, somehow in this world, Maggie exists with Glenn's baby, because Glenn's baby is about 5 years old, so probably 4.5 or whatever.
Unless they died 3 years ago.
Unless they both died, and we find that out in the Rick Grimes spinoff movie but yes, Maggie does exist, but we never actually got to see her be pregnant.
Or they run into each other and Rick Grimes kills them both because he works for the other group now.
Yep. Gotham, why are we waiting 3 weeks? They do that shit all the time, broke. And I have to catch up. I'm gonna binge watch it before the final and be able to talk about it. Joe, fuck you, Joe. Leave my shows alone.
I was just reading that.
Basically, every cult boils down to give me your money and your sexy young woman, and I'll live forever. Hey, you just described Scientology to a T. This is funnier. Join the C crew. Join the C crew. The Sea Org. That's what it is. This is funnier than the actual show.
Yep, that's exactly what it is.
Sea Org. Yeah.
Oh, man,
I am just happy that Into the Badlands is back. Really bummed it's the series finale.
John Travolta killed Miscavige's fucking wife.
You
heard it here first. John Travolta's got a get out of jail free card from the Scientologists to commit murder. So whose murder did he commit? Miscavige's fucking wife. You haven't heard from her. You heard it from me.
Well, you
go
better
tell
show up.
King of Queens girl that they looking at John Travolta for the murder of Miscavige's wife. Promise he threw out a fucking
but not Barbarino. Okay, so dude, that's Barbarino, dude. Don't hate on Barbarino. He's the only one I accept. I'm like, okay, whatever. But Barbarino, he's just a big dummy. Okay, well, we got a bunch more messages from Jay before we're gonna call it here. So let's listen to Jay's next message.
First of all, Joe, David Tennant was pretty much the part about Jessica Jones was the only reason that I love the show, because I saw the second season and the show was clearly way worse than in the first season. He made the show go. He wasn't just okay. He was the absolute best part of the show. The show wasn't good without him in the second season. Second off, voice acting is really hard and important.
What?
Darth Vader.
He said voice acting is really hard and really important.
I disagree with that.
So let's listen to the best of the comment.
And
he said let's rewind him a little bit so we can get this whole point.
Yeah, please.
Important. Darth Vader and Mufasa, the two biggest characters of James Earl Jones' career, and that guy has like a shitload of awards, and both of them are basically spots of voice acting. When you think of James Earl Jones' IMDb, those are the first two characters that come to your mind, and both of them are not him actually seen. Okay?
Shut the fuck up, Joe.
I don't know why I'm this worked up.
Shut the fuck up, Joe.
Rest in peace, guitar. All right, bye.
understand the last episode.
I know. I was shut the fuck up in Joe. We got a couple more messages from Jay. We'll play that and I agree with almost everything Jay said right there.
Hey, so
Of course,
died.
of course you do, you asshole. Of course you never. Well, of course you never take my side in the podcast, Phil. Oh wait.
The guy that's the leader,
any
she was
job.
like
Any
one
job.
of them.
Okay, here's the thing.
We'll play.
Any job is going to be difficult to a degree, but essentially, voice acting is half the fucking job as acting.
No.
Oh no, because I have to emote with my face and my body.
You do different kinds of things with your voice. You can't act the same way. It's just a different skill set.
You can act the same way.
It's a different skill set.
It's
a different skill set.
You can act the same way.
I would agree.
You just don't get to see it. You just don't get to see it. You don't know that they're not acting the same way behind that microphone.
That's
you don't
not
know
the point. That's not the point. You have to elicit different kinds of emotions out of your voice. You have to create visuals out of your voice. It's a just different skill set. Both things are talent. I just completely disagree with you on this one. I agree with your point about they put stars in voice acting roles and take it out of voice actors' jobs. But voice acting in video games, in television, and movies for cartoon characters is a skill set that not every actor can do, and it's a specialized skills talent. I agree with Jay on this one, and I cannot disagree with you more about this.
Disagree.
Okay, we'll leave it at that, and we'll have a debate show.
All voice acting along with acting. Voice acting takes half of it away.
No, it's a different skill set.
Nope.
Different skill set. Okay.
Nope. It's half the skill set.
So,
you're right. You are absolutely right, Phil. It is a completely different skill set
Different
because
skill
it is half the skill set.
So you're saying when I'm a bongo player and not a drummer, I'm only half a drummer?
No.
Half
because
a drummer.
You're still hitting drums.
Yeah, and you're still acting. You're still acting just with your voice and creating different things.
I'm a bongo drummer, or I am a what? A drummer. A drummer
uses all four uses two legs. I'm only using half my body.
You do it on stage. You still have a plethora of percussion instruments to hit.
Same with same with voice acting. You have different
different
ways you
is
can put your
probably less of a percussionist because they only use the kit in front of them. A percussionist will, or a bongo drummer, as you decided to call yourself, who is more of a percussionist.
Well, not anymore. Now I play drums.
Or a Congo drummer has to use a plethora of more instrument. So I find exception to your analogy there, Phil.
You're half a.
I think you downplayed your own ability and managed to do far more with a plethora of it. Djembe, congas, bongas, fucking cowbells, that weird box with the carved lines and the thingies, a fucking xylophone.
I muted Joe.
Because you know I'm right.
Oh, okay. It's easier to act because of the facial expressions and body language. You can do you can use with voice acting. You only have the voice. Anyways,
because you have the fucking cartoon that involves.
Let us know, everyone. Let us know in the chat section and in the comments of this video how dumb Joe is being right now. That's what I want to know.
Hey, you can all say I'm being dumb, and you can all fucking try to argue with me. But Phil, you brought out a point, and I listened to it, and I heard it, and I disagreed with it, and you muted me because you knew I was right.
Of course, that's what I do.
You have a lot more ability than just a regular.
That's what I do. I play drum, but I do play real drums now. It's weird.
You've increased. You've increased the amount of things you can do with percussion.
Mike's
not taken away from it.
We're going to the live chat here. Mike says Joe is right for once. Okay, so we got Joe. Okay, so let's listen to Jay's messages here before I mute Joe again.
Hey, so if Tara died, who's leading her community now? And the guy that's the leader, she was like one of them.
Good question. We don't know who's going to lead that area yet. A couple people have suggested maybe it will be Daryl, or maybe we'll just figure it out because it's interesting that Jesus took over and then Tara took over, and now who's the next in the line there? Mike says I'm with Joe. Iron Throne says hashtag I'm with Joe. Jay says Joe is just wrong. If you can play more people other than yourself, that takes talent. If you can change your voice substantially.
Okay, so Atari Dad, you just contradicted yourself. Honestly, I think most voice actors are more comparable to character actors. Character actors play one character. That's it. That's why they are character actors. So like I can't think at the moment of like a really good character actor who never plays anything but who they are, right? That's a character actor, not an actor. They only play that role in every. My analysis of what? Of who? We talked about him earlier. Fucking Meet Joe Black, Westworld motherfucker. He has become a character actor. He doesn't do anything but that. He does it great, but that's what he fucking does.
I think
He's a character actor at this point. You put him in a voice role, you are still going to get Anthony fucking Hopkins in a voice role. And I will tell you, all his voice emotions will be just as on point, whether or not you see his goddamn fucking face. Thank you. Contradict yourself again, Atari. Come on, I'm drunk enough to engage.
Get on the tractor beam get out of Joe's tractor beam right now. Broke, I would say, he said Kevin Hart. I would say a lot of the comedians, a lot of if you have comedians that become actors, they play those single roles. Where they play the same kind of characters.
I want to SM down. You are right. Okay, so voice actors most of the time play different voices, characters in the same show. You are right. So there's someone like Family Guy dude, Orville guy. He has 6 different fucking characters he plays on Family Guy, on American Dad, and he's unbelievable. Who was it you mentioned earlier, Phil, from Futurama?
Billy West.
Billy West. He does
everything.
Someone else. Mel Blanc. Someone else mentioned him.
Mike Judge. Mike Judge is another one. Someone said Mike Judge.
Mike Judge is another one. And Trevor from
Grand Theft Auto, yeah. And Travis Barker, or Troy Barker what's his name? Troy Baker.
Now,
Troy Baker.
I'm not taking what they do away. They are very dynamic actors with their voices.
Some of them are even better. They're better voice actors than they are physicality actors.
And they absolutely probably are. And those particular
not everyone can be Robin Williams who can actually pull off
Williams. Yes,
he pulled off both. His Aladdin genie compared to
is still just Robin Williams,
but it works. And Joe, just for the record, we might be referring to it wrong. Atari Dad says, I think a character actor is more an actor that can play unique different roles. I know what you're saying.
That's not what a character actor is. You are wrong.
That's what Atari Dad was suggesting. I'm going to look it up.
I know, but that is wrong. A character actor plays the same. They are a character, and that is who you want in your movie. So you choose that guy because he plays.
Now, the definition of a character actor is an actor who specializes in playing an eccentric or unusual people rather than a leading role. So.
And it's the same character in almost all.
See, I almost view what you're saying as I think it's just a semantic thing. I view a character actor as something a little different, but I know what you're saying, and I agree with you that there are people that just play themselves in a movie.
That's in the industry. That's what a character. David, you're in the industry. You tell me.
After tonight's episode, what do you? Let's get back to the Few Walking Dead questions here. Kay says, after tonight's episode, what season do you think the show should end? I think next season should be the last.
5?
If we're looking future season, I hope next season is the last season.
Season 5?
Now, I could be wrong, but here's an article to read on it. Yeah, in Atari Dad, Joe will click on that and read on it. Hey, Phil, but that's the point. Joe's point. They're better actors because the real thing takes more talent. It's just a different talent. Physical acting is different. But again, that's a different conversation for a different day. Justice for Vic, and let's listen to the rest of Jay's message here.
So who takes her place now?
Oh, no, who takes her place? I don't know yet who takes her place. I would say it's probably going to be Daryl, maybe. But listen, I know Daryl doesn't like to be a leader. It's probably going to be, I don't know, someone we don't know. So another red shirt person. So it's going to be like the drummer of Spinal Tap who leads that role. Oh, here comes Jay. Let's see if we can get Jay live on the air for the first time in a while. What's going on, Jay? Or I don't think do we have Jay here? Jay, what's going on, buddy?
Yo, what's up? I didn't expect you guys to answer. Well, one, my thing about the voice acting versus acting is actors have like an easier time because they have actual extra tools to use. They have expressions they can use. They have body language they can use to get their point across. And don't give me the voice actors have people drawing the shit for them. The voice actors aren't in the room with the animators when they're doing that shit.
They are watching the video as they act. They are watching the video as they fucking voice it. They are watching it. They are lining it up Watch some video on it. They're watching the fucking TV. They're watching a monitor.
1 second,
so
Jay.
they can do it at the same time, so they can get the timing right.
They want to emote this or this part. Like, it is a lot harder to voice act than to just act.
One at a time.
No, it's not, because you don't have to fucking act. You don't have to act. You have to stand there.
I'll let you go back,
and read
Jay.
it
Hold
over
on.
and over again until the director says, "We got it." You don't have to act. You just have to keep reading it over and over again. That's it. That's it. Watch. That's it. That's it. No. You need more emotion, Joe. That's it.
Jay,
you see how it's done? You see how voice acting is done? I can be very calm and say, that's it. That's it. That's it. But that's not what the actor calls for. That's not what the role calls for.
Goodness.
It calls for that fucking it.
It's weird because I don't hear Joe on the phone. I just hear him on my computer.
Oh, okay. You don't hear that's perfect.
I'm fucking. I'm so
That's
drunk.
perfect.
That's Sam. I love you, man.
Sorry, Jay. Call back.
really
Leave it. Go back. So we'll figure out so you can hear Joe. I'm probably screwed up here.
I'm so sorry, man.
Well, Carmine's just like, wait, voice acting? What did I walk in before? What discussion is this going? I thought you guys were talking about The Walking Dead.
I'm still reading this this Wikipedia about character acting. And
see, Joe. I just think we're semantic-y this. I think I know what you're saying. I think there's two definitions to what you're talking about.
Like, I can't argue with what I'm reading here as far as what it is saying.
Yeah, like someone like Philip. Someone mentioned Philip Seymour Hoffman. I consider him. I consider Commissioner Gordon. What's his name? I'm blanking on his name. Gary. What's his freaking Zorg in Fifth Element and There Will Be Blood. Like what's his name? Angry Joe's going on right now. Signing up for the Dirty Locks voice acting seminar. Great to see Carbine in the live motherfucking chat right now. And we love you, Joe. Angry Joe. So, oh my goodness. So let's listen to one of Jay's last message here. I think he's leaving one more as we talk to. So let's listen.
But you don't really have to
Hey,
act.
I had a theory about like
you can do it with a flat affect.
Gary Oldman. Yes, Gary Oldman is probably one of the best.
Main characters leaving the show. Like
Phil and Joe, what 10 characters would you choose on the Pikes instead? We talked about this one a little bit earlier. I think we all wanted to see.
I think they chose right.
You think they chose right?
I think they chose right. I'm in David's camp here. I like who else? Maybe Ezekiel, because I hate the way he fucking talks, but he dropped it, so okay, he can live.
So
I think they got it right.
And watching many behind-the-scenes interviews with actors for animated movies, Joe is right. Oh, yeah, but they get into it. They physically emote, but they don't pay as much attention to the realism of it. A lot of times you have to overdo it to get the proper performance. You see people doing like that with the screen, but they do watch the visual or a visual representation of what they're doing. And let's keep going in the live motherfucking chat here. Ronnie is loving this discussion right here. We got some great stuff happening in the live chat right now. Anime voice acting has its own difficulty because you got to time your voice with the lip flaps. Used to have to do that with video games too, but these days they just reanimate the lips.
Yep.
Carmen says, I'm too secretive for this. Not even my own girlfriend and mistress knows my real name. She doesn't even know what he looks like. He walks around in a haunter mask all day long. I met Carmine once in a bar, and he walks in. He was wearing one of those like cheapo Halloween masks with a no joke. I was in New York once, and Carmine and I had a cola. We had a cola because Carmine doesn't drink. And
exactly, Tom.
Yeah. So Dirty Locks. If they kill off characters you don't like, it's a great choice. So is that
perfect? Yes, it's perfect.
Is that what you're saying?
Kill off what I don't like and make the show more likable.
People are listening to you again, Joe. Here we go. It actually happens. And and what commercial did Carmine do the voice in? He's not going to tell us.
I think it was the Tampax commercial.
Yeah, I think. And Mike says you're close on that one. You were very, very close on that one. But yes, no joke. If you guys want to meet the real Carmine, look around New York for someone wearing a haunter mask, and then you're like, oh, that's him. That's him. That's what he does. He wears it at work. He wears it out while he drives. Everywhere he goes. Okay, so we got another message from Jay. Let's listen to this voicemail. I can't wait to listen to this one. Let's listen to what Jay has to say here.
Okay, first of all, not all the time they're in the studio with them watching the thing on the background. Sometimes they do the voices separate, and then they do the animating. like later and then just match them up later, okay?
No, you can't because the timing would be all off. You need to see the timing. You need to see what you're talking to. Like what was it? Sontevia just said it in the chat. Atari. Anime voice acting has its own difficulty because you have to time your voice and use the lip flaps, right? Which goes along with what Sontevia said. Watch many behind-the-scenes interviews with actors for animated movies. They have to watch the monitor because I will have my own cadence of what I'm reading. I interpret what I'm reading. That's the beauty of books and of scripts.
Silly, funny.
You can put your own imagination to this shit. So if I'm going to read it slow and read it into a microphone like this, it's not going to add up to what the scene needs.
It's funny you say that,
Atari. To watch the scene while you're fucking talking the script.
Atari Dad, thank you for mentioning that. They use Animaniacs, they use storyboards, I believe. Funny you mentioned Animaniacs. Actually, this Friday night, I'm going to a live Animaniacs show, and it's like some of the voice actors for Animaniacs that are doing a...
That shit is unbelievable. That's Steven Spielberg shit right there.
Yeah, I'm actually very excited. They're doing some musical review where they're all going to sing some of the songs from the show live and do sort of like some stand-up comedy kind of crap. So I'm very excited to see that Animaniacs show live. I don't know if anyone else has seen it around it. I guess it is touring right now.
I haven't. I would love to see that shit. That sounds awesome.
Carmine says literally what Joe's favorite thing to hear in the world. Joe is 100% right. No, Joe.
Oh, that too.
That too. Those two things are Joe's favorite things to hear. Joe is 100%. I'm a huge anime fan and always wanted to do voice acting for animes. I've seen many behind-the-scenes stuff. Joe is correct. And then to the polar opposite of that when Tom says, wrong, Joe. Joe's least favorite thing to hear. Most times they record the voice first. I think they used to do that a lot more often. Now with technologies catching up, they usually always it's synced up. I would have to agree with Joe on this one, and Carmine as well. Oh no, I'm playing you the rest of your message, Jay. Don't you fucking worry. You still watching Orville and Discovery? I am. I'm one episode behind Orville, and I'm 2 episodes behind Discovery. I know people that hate Discovery last season. This season is good. I wouldn't say it's the greatest show of all time, but this season of Discovery is a grand improvement from last season.
I just won't do CBS subscription.
No, I pirate. Don't fucking pay that shit. Pirate the shit out of it.
Pirate, dude. I don't want to go to jail.
Yeah, Joe.
I don't want to get fined.
I'm a good boy.
I don't pirate. I don't pirate.
Chan says
mainly because
you're lazy.
I really do think that these things deserve the little bit that I can give them, whatever like commercials I have to watch on this or that, and that they get that money from.
But
I believe they deserve that much.
No,
like,
fair.
Like I'm the shit fuck that I play H1Z1, right? And I think it's a great game, and I play it a lot. And it's a free game, and they have free content for people to play it. So
hashtag not my.
I'll buy the $5 fucking battle pass.
See, it's funny
to support the game.
It's funny you say that, Ian. I haven't watched the last 2 weeks, so I haven't seen Spock yet, and I know Discovery Spock showed up, so that could possibly change my opinion on this entire season. How bad they portray Spock. But that being said, I haven't seen the Spock thing yet. Orville continues to be an entertaining watch week after week. I'm marveled. I will say it again that I marvel at how that he has another gear. As much as I enjoyed some of the early seasons of Family Guy, his jokes sort of wore thin on me, and each one of his shows kind of reuses a similar style of humor. And I wasn't sure in all the movies he's done, sharing that movie he did, the Western movie, was one of the most horrible piece of shit movies I've seen in a long time. I was sort of an all-time low on Seth going into this, and I was like, yeah, is he just gonna shit all over Star Trek for the whole movie, for the whole show? And I actually give a shit about this world. I actually am curious about it. All the Bortus and in this season finding out more or having every character have a deep episode. The only thing I'm not feeling on this season of Orville as much as last year is I don't like that Alara is gone. Having been a Gossip Girl watcher, I know the actress that they have playing the new Selayan, and I'm just not a big fan of that actress. And I had much more of a crush on the first Selayan. And I thought she just had a little bit more chemistry with the cast, but I don't think she's taking away. That's my own personal issues. But I'd say the Orville as a whole is this season's more serious than funny, where last season bridged it a little bit, but they've definitely serioused it up a little bit this year, and I think it's working. The Orville's a great show. And here we go. Is H1Z1 on a console? Yes, PS4. Give Phil the Issues Guy his password to Joe. Oh, it's so you can stream on the channel more. I'd make you So I'd let Joe do some streaming on the channel. So let me play the rest of Jay's messages here. Where the fuck is it? Where the fuck's the rest of your message, Jay?
Like, I don't even know why we got into the argument, because I called you just find out, hey.
Yeah, the new Selaine just doesn't have as much chemistry with the cast.
No, I love the new Selaine. I love her. I love her so much more than the old Selaine.
Really?
I think she's fucking awesome.
Yeah,
I really do. I love the way she's playing that character. There was one little scene where something happened in that weird big head fucking alien with the big head, right? He like
the ass touching one, the one that
were
the one...
like 10 forward, and like she
forward.
did something, and he was like, "Yeah, that was cool," and she gave him this smile. Like everybody else treats him like he's a fucking freak and a weirdo, but like.
Dave, or isn't that guy Dave? He's
Dave,
like,
yeah.
Hey guys, we're hanging out here tonight. I'm gonna have sex with you tonight, baby.
She just gives him a smile and a nod, as if to say, like,
"See you later, 1998 champions. Thank you so much, buddy."
I really like her a lot.
No, I hear you. And again, I have a personal thing because of Gossip Girl. Whatever, I've seen her in other things, so I have my television biases built up against her.
I don't recognize her at all.
Yeah, exactly. This is your first time seeing her. I've seen her in like a few other things. She also is on Shameless as well, which I didn't really like.
She in Shameless.
She plays when what's her name? What's the main actress?
What season? I stopped at about season 6.
It's when what's her name buys the apartment building. She lives upstairs in the apartment building.
I never saw anybody buy an apartment building. That is way beyond what I watched.
Yeah,
that shit launched when the season that Frank shoved fucking like 18 balloons of fucking dope up his ass.
Every season,
like, and they were like this big. Like that was the season the cancer patient season with Frank.
Frank
fucks the cancer patient for the season.
Slight spoiler alert.
Slight
spoiler alerts for Shameless, but it's not really a spoiler kind of show. But there's one season where I'm blanking on her name. What's the main actress's name on the show? Fucking
Tits.
Yeah, the oldest girl. I'm blanking on her name.
Oh, she's so fucking hot, dude.
This is her last season.
What's Shameless's daughter's older name? Katie.
We'll see if
Katie. She can't hear me.
We'll see if the live chat will figure it out before. Phil, you watch Gossip Girl.
Shameless's daughter. Shameless oldest daughter.
Real name?
Character name. Phoebe?
No, it's not Phoebe. Fiona. Okay, fucking Fiona. How could I forget fucking Fiona? Fucking Fiona. Gossip Girl. The fuck did you watch Charmed and Sabrina too? I watched the new. Sabrina.
Charmed. I watched all of Charmed. It was like the only thing on at 7 a.m. when I would get home from work. I watched that shit. I liked it until they decided to bring their fucking kid in as a light dude, whatever. Like, I mean, you guys have fucking lost me.
But fucking Charmed, yeah, Charmed. Dude,
of course he loved Charmed. It had what's his name?
Julian McCann. Julian McCann, yeah, or McMahon. I have a man crush on Julian McCann. McMahon. I saw all 3 Animaniacs voice actors at C2E2. They read the scripts of National Lampoon's Vacation as their characters with some other voice actors. Enjoy the show, Phil. I cannot wait. Yeah, Charmed was great until he left, and then it got kind of weird towards the end. But I've never watched, what was the other show? Sabrina. I've watched the new Sabrina on Netflix, and I actually like the new Sabrina. Gem and the Holograms, I have. They're truly, truly outrageous. Truly, truly, truly outrageous. Okay, anyways, I need to watch the new Sabrina show this week. You should. It's very entertaining. So I guess.
I gotta write something.
Fuck.
Oh, sorry.
So I guess let's play the rest of Joe's fucking everybody up, right? Let's play the rest of Jay's message and then call this an evening.
In the version of you guys like getting so sick of the show that you stop watching it, like you stop doing the podcast or whatever, what happens in that episode that pisses you guys off enough, like to like finally go, all right, enough's enough. I can't watch this anymore.
Joe.
All right, like what does the show have to do?
Jay's asked this question several times in different ways. I think if we have not quit this now, we're not quitting it till it's over. And the only thing that could happen to me is in my house, it might come to a point where I'm not allowed to watch The Walking Dead from 9 to 10 because it's so fucking boring to the other people I watch shows with that they're like, I'm done with this. That me and Joe might have to like go to a bar or hide in my basement to watch the episode to talk about it. Or we might end up talking about it midweek and not on Sundays if there's a show we want to talk about better, if it's up against something that we like or care about a little bit more. But we're going to be talking about The Walking Dead in some fashion until it ends. I don't think anything could get us off this train at this point, right?
No, I made the decision that there was 2 shows that were very falling downhill, and so
You chose poorly, by the way.
No, I did not choose poorly. I really
Vikings
don't.
this season
this is picking up. This is picking up. Honestly, the last couple of weeks have been better than anything since Glenn fucking crawled under that dumpster. Really.
Last week,
really, it has been. No. The last couple of weeks. This wasn't a great episode. This wasn't like. This was average from what I'm ready for.
I would say this whole season
the difference is
average
their
at best.
Main character on Vikings, that little fucking stupid fucking snake eye fuckface.
Ivar the boneless. Ivar the boneless.
Awful. He's so awful. And none of the other characters are compelling. And the main reason why I was watching Vikings was because I thought that the original cast
had chemistry with Ragnar.
Travis
Yep.
Fimmel and the guy that played his brother that went on
Clive something is his name.
And even his original fucking first wife, they were all great. Schwarzenegger showed up, was right. He was the no, it wasn't him. Who was it? It was I forget who played the original governor.
D'Artagnan.
D'Artagnan, right? Like
Usual Suspects guy.
Great actors, great story.
And then you even had you had Bullock. Speaking of Gotham, you had Bullock on the second season, who's Don Log or Lug or Don. I left a Lug in the toilet. Don, yep, that dude.
Like, and then they just started casting horrible fucking actors and writing the show shittily.
Yeah.
And I'm sorry, I had already invested a few extra years before Vikings. So
I want to get to
one.
And I want to get to one quick Walking Dead question before we take a couple more questions here. Akay Ali says, what do you think Negan will be used like in the show now? I think he's our lead character next season. Yeah, I think he ends up when Michonne leaves, Negan becomes our de facto leader of Alexandria.
So, and I just watched recently Rampage, and Jeffrey Dean Morgan is in that movie, and largely he plays Negan, but not the asshole side of Negan. Semi-asshole side, but not the complete asshole side of Negan. And I think Jeffrey Dean Morgan is going into my definition of character.
Right, he's going into the cliche, and I don't even know the correct word of saying it, but Al Pacino became that. De Niro almost became that too. At a certain point in time, actors they're so good they become cliches of themselves. Again,
they become the single character that they can play.
Right, which again, we're just semantically arguing. I consider a character actor a little something different, but yes, actors do get into that habit sometimes, and sometimes they break out of it, and you think an actor is just one thing, and then they break it. Like Jim Carrey started out that way, and then eventually expanded his talent pool to be able to do other things.
When you hit Truman, when you hit
Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind, shit like that.
Right.
So Red Team Review, Carmine says, I quit this Walking Dead eons ago. The only entertaining part of the show is watching Phil and Joe cover it. Broke says we should just watch Gotham instead, and don't say that to Joe. And Carmine says Vikings is suffering from what The Walking Dead is suffering from: 10-hour stories stretched into 21-hour episode seasons. That's why the first 3 seasons are good, and these last 2 are fucking meh.
And this is why, again, I have to say I like this 10 season story arcs are good for me. I was originally upset about it, but I say it shouldn't be a fucking year before you get another 10 episodes.
Joe, I don't even think it has to be 10 though.
Months.
I don't even think it has to be 10. I think it has to be enough to tell the right story.
So
I think you
right,
have like True Detective, the most recent season of True Detective. That was it 6 episodes or was it 8 episodes?
And it was Leonard. Every season,
and it's just perfect.
6 episodes.
And it's perfect. It's the amount of episodes it needs to tell a fucking story.
Tell the story. But here's the thing: don't make your audience wait 10 fucking months. For more.
Don't make you wait 2 years.
6 episodes. You're only gonna make 10 episodes. They should be.
How
6 months
about if someone makes you wait a year, a whole calendar year with no show to give you 6 episodes?
D&D me, motherfucker.
To only give you
Those
6
motherfuckers
episodes.
Need to be stabbed.
After giving you 7 episodes the season before. Anyways, okay. Lindsay says the best years of The Walking Dead will always be seasons 1 through 5. Yes, I'm including season 2 because thinking about it, to be honest, isn't as bad as I thought it was. Season 2 is certainly better than 7 or 8. Oh, abso-fucking-lutely. The only time Tom Hanks played a character twice, Forrest Gump and The Lady Killers. One of those movies was good, the other one not so much.
Right, and see, that's why
Tom Hanks is also going to be playing Mr. Rogers soon.
What you just read right there, Tom Hanks has only played the same character twice.
Except for all those early Tom Hanks movies when he was the Tom Hanks bosom buddies Tom Hanks. That Tom Hanks, which was he played a lot. The Burbs Tom Hanks, Bachelor Party Tom Hanks, not Tango and Cash, Turner and Hooch Tom Hanks have a lot of similarities. The comedy actor Tom Hanks is a certain character type, but once he did the Gump.
You just reinforced
the Gump.
As well,
he became Gump
takes his comedy thing to a different level.
Yeah, and then Philadelphia, or was Philadelphia before the Gump?
Philadelphia was way before.
No, it was the year before. He won the Oscar not way before. It was a year before or a year after. He won the Oscar like 3 years in a row.
It was definitely before, and it was probably, if it was 3 years in a row, it was 2 years before.
No, it was Philadelphia then the Gump, like back-to-back years. I'll look it up.
I'm not arguing until I look it up. Right.
There's no point of Tom Hanks' career. Tom Hanks IMDb. Yeah, this is the last thing we'll do here. Let's go down Tom Hanks' IMDb because that's
the thing. While you're doing that, I'm going to talk about this. Like you just said it, his comedy acting in his early career, he played very similar, same character.
I guess Big was sort of a transitional part for him. Okay,
because
so
you're playing the same character. We need an erotic guy or an erotic woman for this role. Well, who are we gonna get? This person does it well in everything they've ever done it, so we're gonna go with that person to play that.
Now let's
their character.
Let's move on here a little bit and say Tom Hanks is playing. Let's see. He started off and The Love Boat was his first time. Bosom Buddies, Taxi, Happy Days, Amazing Monsters, Family Ties. As the Family Ties, the first time I really remember seeing Tom Hanks was Family Ties. I went back and later saw the Happy Days episode, but Family Ties is when he plays like the drunk uncle, which was really cool. Splash was his first real movie. Then same character as Bachelor Party, same character as The Money Pit, same character. No, Nothing in Common was a little bit different. Dragnet, Big, Punchline. Punchline is an underrated Tom Hanks movie where he first shows his drama. It's him and Sally Field, which is funny if you talk about Forrest Gump when he later plays his mom. He has a kind of a love affair with Sally Field in the movie Punchline. It's a movie about stand-up comedy, but it's a sad, dark movie about stand-up comedy. Damon Wayans is in it as a young.
Their Own too. That's a comedy that
League of Their Own. Yeah, we're almost underselling him in those early roles. Big, League of Their Own, Punchline. He showed that range that he eventually would show. The Burbs, Turner and Hooch, Joe versus the Volcano.
Gump 94. I thought it was 96.
Yeah, 93, 94. Yeah, so Philadelphia was first, 93. Forrest Gump 94. So it was 2 years in a row.
League of Their Own, Philadelphia, and Forrest Gump, or Toy Story, Apollo 13.
Yeah, that's when he just starts getting crazy. Saving Private Ryan, Toy Story.
Saving Private Ryan, like that's like 5-7 years in a row where
of doing awesome movies. Then he finally does a shit movie with You Got Mail again, but then he comes right back with Green Mile and Castaway, which are fucking both killer movies. Road to Perdition's pretty good. Catch Me If You Can is one of the last excellent. I mean, Spielberg makes a lot of great movies, but Catch Me If You Can is a amazing movie.
People love that movie.
Yep, Lady Killers. He was very good in Lady Killers. Terminal.
Good.
The Simpsons. Oh yeah, he does a voice in Simpsons movies. Charlie Wilson War was a decent performance. Angels and Demons. Toy Story 3, where it should have all ended, but whatever. I guess it's coming back, and I'm gonna watch it. But I still think Toy Story should have ended at 3 because I thought that was a good ending point.
It's right there. It's right there. It's right there. It stares you in the face. Like I've never seen Polar Express. So, but I guess the Da Vinci War was after that. The Da Vinci Code. Da Vinci Code was his last good movie. Maybe Charlie's Wilson War, but no.
I think he's gonna have another. Mark my words, and it might end up being a big turd. I think him on doing this as Fred Rogers is gonna turn some heads. I think he is gonna kill it as Mr. Rogers.
No, Phil Katie just said that.
Yeah, I think it's gonna be his next big award. Like, I think he is going to destroy this role, as long as the movie's not written like shit. But I think his performance is going to be balls to the wall awesome. If you see the visual of him, if anyone's seen the pictures already, it looks creepy because he looks so much like Mr. Rogers. Road to Perdition was a good movie. Toy Story. Tom was it? Yeah, Tom is Woody in Toy Story. He's the main character. So, everybody, I guess this is as good a point as any. We've had a lot of fun tonight. We've talked about a lot of things. Oh, wait, Jay has one more message. So we can't go away without listening to Jay's last message.
Hey, I'm so sorry. If I ever
All right,
say...
so since you guys are never going to stop it, all right, my question is going to be the opposite. In the event that next year this show is so good again that you feel it's back to the golden age of Walking Dead, or like as good as like it was when like the governor was around, or basically for Joe everything pre under dumpster Glenn. What happens in that storyline? Who does the show focus on?
Judith.
What type of things do you want to see them do to make you think, man, this show is back to the show I loved at one point? Not this show that I'm like, that I really, really love and am now still trying to like, or trying to find redeeming things.
Now,
things in.
it's a good question. Is there anything that could happen, Joe? I would think it has to be. I would think it would be with Judith somehow.
So it to me, it doesn't matter who the character is, especially any of the ones that like now. Judith
so
is,
ready, Chance.
As far as whether or not she can act or how good of an actress she is. Here's the thing: if any child can do your job, your profession as well as you can, you got a shit profession, dude.
I think she has Leanna Mormont upside. Because I think
Leanna Mormont. Oh my God! No, you wanna equate Judith to Leanna Mormont? There isn't.
No different character. I just think
that child actress is on a different level.
All the kid actors,
fucking child actors.
All the kid actors are in that show. They cast really well. And Joe, I'm taking the call. I'm mentioning the call. No one ever mentions Maggie or her baby. Paul Q. He did ask that question. Jay asked that earlier about Maggie's baby. Maggie's baby. I would say honestly, the thing that needs to happen with The Walking Dead to make it awesome again would be for it to be this is the Rick Grimes movies. Is these movies that they're working. I think the next really awesome thing is, can they try to not make it episodic, like what Carmine and Joe were kind of saying, with having to do 16 episodes a season in these 8-episode story arcs. It falls you fall into this weird rhythm instead of working and creating. They don't have a writer's room like Better Call Saul or Breaking Bad did, where it's all of them sitting in there working out the logic and stuff. Things are written a little bit differently. It's done more in a committee or instead of an organic kind of way. So everything is just form-fitting. How can we maximize our profits? I bet this whole thing this season with those The Walking Dead will be back in 90 seconds thing was their big decision in the writer's room this year. It was like, how can we fit in another commercial break? And we could put a little teaser in there. People are going to love that. They're going to think the show's back, and they're going to... No. So, honestly, I think the only thing that can make this show awesome again and get to that point is to have fresh writing and fresh perspective working on the show again. And I think the only way you have that is through the movie and through having a director or creative team coming in and taking a fresh perspective with Andrew Lincoln, who is a talented fuck, no doubt, and trying to do justice to what that character is and keeping Jadis the fuck out of it. So I think it's in the Rick Grimes movie. That's my next hope for. But if the show is to get great again, I think they need to introduce some new characters that we give a shit about, and to actually take the time to introduce and build up and have character study. But I don't know. Has it gone too far? Is the relationship gone, Joe? Can the show ever get back to what Jay is saying, that season 1 through 5 level for you?
I think it can. It really takes. It's going to take the team of writers to pay more attention. Like, I've been yelling and screaming since the beginning that I want to see people acting like they're actually in the fucking apocalypse at all times. You don't forget that you're in the apocalypse, right? So why aren't they always prepared? Why aren't they always trying to be prepared? Why Like you put up walls and then you say, okay, we don't gotta worry anymore. Like, I don't get it. I don't get like all the time someone goes off to take a piss on their own or whatever the fuck it is. Like, it just doesn't make
Easy
any sense.
peasy lemon breezy, Joe. Sorry. So people are asking, do we think Cobra Kai is going to take over? Is it going? How big do you think Cobra Kai? Do you think Cobra Kai is going to be bigger than season 1 this year, or if we're say we have a similar quality level from season 1 to season 2, will Cobra Kai get more of the mainstream attention, or will?
So I think it's a brilliant show. I think it's a brilliant concept. I think it was done very well. I think Billy Zabka was fucking.
Joe, back up a little bit. We can't hear you as well.
I think Billy Zabka was phenomenal.
Perfect.
I think,
Perfect. You're fine.
Everything went. I just think it was all so good that it's. I really hope it gets the recognition it actually deserves. It's buried on YouTube TV.
Yeah, that's the toughest part. That's the toughest part. There's certain people I've been trying to get to watch the show since it's been on, and they're just like, some people are just obstinate about it. Like, you watch it on YouTube.
I'm gonna pay money for that shit, and I don't want to put any kind of thing in that's gonna charge me down the road for it when I'm not paying attention. Like, why can't like? I don't know. It's buried on YouTube. It deserves far more attention than it's gotten.
Yeah.
It should be it almost should be a primetime network television
I'd
show.
watch it. I mean, a lot of people watch it. It's eventually, when it's done, it's going to get syndication, I bet. I'm not, or going to get some sort of release on a television network, or someone's going to buy it. Netflix will buy it and put on the series. Something will happen. So I think eventually it will get the audience it deserves. And I do think it deserves a big audience, and it's fun. It's Stranger Things season 3 looks fun too, and it's interesting to compare those two because they're both very 80s centric. Or comparisons or nostalgic trips, but in very different ways. So let's get a couple of the live motherfucking chats in, and then we're going to call this an evening as it's almost 2 here. Walking Dead has become that relationship that my relationship with The Walking Dead is that I just need to end. No, The Walking Dead has become that relationship that I need to end, but for some reason I'm still hoping it changes, but deep inside I know it won't. I think we've all been in that relationship or are in those relationships. Lady Arrow on the West Coast just finished the episode. I don't know. Lydia caused a bunch of shit. She and her mom should have been stomped right out early. Fucking Henry got everyone killed, and I hate Alpha. Walking David gave Shay's last message 8 beers out of 10. I heard a lot of people saying that they hate the Mormon girl actor. Oh, they're fucking wrong and they didn't take the call. They didn't take the Starks call. I am willing to give future Walking Dead spinoffs a chance, but you have to have a strong writing team. That's my one condition. You have to have a strong writing team and strong directing team, and make sure you get cast good actors, not actors that you never introduce, you never build up their characters, and you get horrible dialogue and horrible monologues like Sadiq's fucking bullshit today.
Yes, David.
I wanted to see more discussions on medieval weapons that they've created and see them coming back for the brink of collapse. That aspect was interesting. We could see that shit. And someone said, or I don't know if it's someone trolling or what, you just need to make me watch that, or somebody, I'm not watching, The Perfectionists or something. The problem with Cobra Kai is trying to get people to pay for an otherwise free service. Exactly.
Correct.
Lucille, no one wants to pay for that stupid YouTube Red now, YouTube Premium thing.
And for one show that has gotten any kind of acclaim.
Yeah.
Nothing else on YouTube have I heard anybody mention. Have you seen this? It's on YouTube.
At least CBS at All Access, Joe. And I'm not using this as an option because I think what Paramount did with what CBS did with Star Trek is like it's horrible shit. But at least CBS All Access, they're trying to add more shows that people are going to give a shit about, like the Twilight Zone is going to be put there.
None of them I give a shit about.
I do. I care about.
I don't give a shit about Twilight Zone until I know it's a good series.
I'm going to give it a shot.
I know the original was great, but what are they going to do? They're going to rehash all the old Twilight Zones,
or maybe they're going to. I'm going to give it a shot.
We've seen them all.
I'm going to give it a shot. I'm giving it a shot. Kim's on it. I'm giving it a shot.
Black Mirror, we've seen it. Like, come on, like just because it's got the name Twilight Zone doesn't mean it's going to be actually fucking good.
But it's worth.
So why do I want to sign up for CBS All Access? Yes, okay, Discovery is on there, and a lot of people are talking about how good that is. And okay, that's got me on the edge of wanting to sign up for CBS.
How about Picard?
But nothing else on there.
Will Picard do it for you?
Again, so him.
Will
the
Picard do
actor-
it? No, I'm not talking about the actors. I don't want to. Yeah, I know his voice. He plays the same thing. Whatever. I'm saying, will a
No,
Captain?
I was gonna say I fucking love him.
Okay. Will a Captain Picard series get you to pay for CBS All Access? Will a new Star Trek animated
Depends
series?
on what it is, though.
It's a Picard series about him after the series events after Star Trek: The Next Generation. It's continuous in that universe.
Just after Star Trek Next, not when he was a kid. None of that shit.
No.
If it's gonna be him in the show, yes.
He's in the show. He's starring in the show. It's his show.
I might because he is fucking amazing.
He's amazing. Yeah, he is.
You see his work on Family Guy, American Dad,
or that show he does with Ian McKellen, Misfits. I think it's called. If anyone's ever seen Misfits, and
his show on Cinemax.
I know you weren't the biggest fan of this movie, but his performance in Logan I thought was balls to the wall, awesome, and. Yeah, I know you have
best part of that.
You have a hair across your ass about that movie, but like it's his performance was excellent in that movie. I don't think that's arguable. That the acting performance.
No, it was other things that had a problem with that movie, not him.
No, or what's his name's Wolverine performance was really good as well. I think it
was more the writing and how like you're gonna go on a boat. What? Are you fucking idiots?
Right, fair enough. But a Star Trek animated series that's coming on there. My thing with the Twilight Zone, Joe, is I hear you. I don't want to just see a remake of that, but I'm gonna give this show a shot because I like everything I've heard coming out of it. I like the actors' choices. I like the people that they have hosting it. I like a lot of the stuff that's being talked about leading into it. It might be shit, but I'll wait to watch it to see if it's shit because I really like all the inclinations, all the versions that we've gotten of the Twilight Zone throughout the years, and I've never been disappointed by a version of specifically the Twilight Zone. So I'm gonna go into it, and I pay for CBS All Access anyway.
And that's the thing, you haven't been disappointed by it, so you don't like if they decided to just you know what we're gonna re-air from the beginning every Sunday night the original Twilight Zone series. Those hold up.
Yeah, no, they do.
Just as fucked up, just as scary today as they were 40 fucking years ago, 30 years ago, 20 years ago, whenever the fuck they came out.
No, to me, as maybe the 80s movie, like the intro, the 80s movie with the Shatner and the plane thing is probably the creepiest it gets when he sees the thing on the roof of the plane. But anyway, that's beside the point. The
Shatner one?
I'm a little.
There's a lot of great. There's a lot of great. Twilight
but I'm very excited. I'm excited to see Kim in something else post Better Call Saul or to see Kim Wexler.
What, she's gonna be in every episode?
I don't know. I just know she's in it.
That's just it. So they announced Kim Wexler is going to be in it, right? Is it one episode? That was one of the beauties of Twilight Zone. It wasn't the same actors.
It's not. Week. I think she's going to be in 1 or 2 episodes. I heard,
and that's okay. I think
they're going to have different actors.
You're not watching a show.
I think it's going to be set.
You're watching one episode.
And again, you have a hair across your ass about Black Mirror, but I think it's more going to be set up like that, where each episode is going to be a different thing and with a different cast and a different crew.
Right, and it should be. And so if that's the case, you're only looking at one episode with this actor that you're really interested in seeing in something else.
Yep.
So that doesn't make me want to buy CBS Access to see 30 fucking minutes of somebody I like.
I said that's one of the things I'm happy about. I'm happy about a lot of things I'm hearing about the show. It's not just about Kim Wexler. She's not getting me to watch the show. It's the Twilight Zone. It's the franchise that's getting me to watch the show.
And that's just it. It's the title, and then you've heard some other thing. You like some of the actors that might be in it, but it's basically the title of it.
Yeah, I'm excited about the Twilight Zone. It is for me. I'm sorry you have no joy in your life.
How about you put some fucking original shit out?
I have. Black Mirror is original. I've seen those shows. I want to see the Twilight Zone. The Twilight Zone in its conception isn't about those stories that have been redone. It's about the unknown and all that stuff, and that's something that can exist. And that's something that it can exist. And that's something that can exist in perpetuity.
Correct.
There's no reason why.
In one form or another. Friday the 13th.
So why can't the actual daddy come and play? Why can't there's so many bands that copy another band? Why can't the original band come out and show you that they're better than everybody at doing the thing?
Oh, they do.
And that's what I want. That's what I want to happen in this situation. I want the Twilight Zone to come back and say, this is how you do this shit. And I'm going to give it a shot. You might not want to give it a shot. You may want to prejudge it ahead of time on what it's going to be, but I want to judge it for what it's going to be after I watch it. I've got you on mute. This is awesome.
The shit. It's not the Twilight Zone. That's what I'm saying. Like, your analogy is, why can't that band come out? Yes, Pink Floyd can come out and can show anybody today that Roger Waters is going to fucking kick
They
your
can't
ass
because they're most of them
suck.
They can't
right?
because half the band's dead. Or no, Rich Wright's
you know
dead.
what I'm saying. But that's completely different because you don't have the same directors. You don't have the same actors. William Shatner maybe in one episode like he was originally, but is he really the same actor he was 40 fucking years ago?
No, he's probably better.
Probably better. So, but that's just it. It's not the Twilight Zone. It's a new fucking show that they decided we're not going to be able to sell this show unless we put this fucking tag on it and people fucking buy it. People like who, Phil?
Me?
Thank you.
But I don't,
because it's got a label.
I know.
If they said these 6 members of Pink Floyd now, you'd be like, that's not Pink Floyd.
No, but I go see tribute bands.
Zone.
I go see tribute bands sometimes.
Sometimes.
When it's convenient for me, when I want to see it, and I have CBS All Access already, so I'm excited that another possible show I could enjoy.
Yes.
I'm not buying CBS All Access for the fucking Twilight Zone, but it is another thing. My point was that at least they're trying to bring more content, whereas YouTube Red does not bring more content to make anyone give a flying fuck about.
Well, they have other content.
It sucks.
But again, like you said, nobody gives a fuck about it.
People care about the franchise of Star Trek and the Twilight Zone, and CBS is using that to.
That's what I don't understand. Why do you care about the Twilight Zone franchise? Because that's not the franchise. That's people.
How do you
today
know?
saying, let's steal
How do
this
you
shit.
know? How do you know?
Because
You're
they're
making a
none
lot
the
of
same
bullshit
people involved.
You're making a lot of bullshit assumptions. You're talking out your ass about something you haven't seen yet. Like, what the flying fuck? Watch something and then make a fucking decision. Don't prejudge opinions. You have it in the can that you're gonna hate something before it even comes out. Watch the fucking thing, then say it sucks.
Because it's got the name. I can name a band's Led Zeppelin. Make them Led Zeppelin if the members of Led Zeppelin aren't in it. That's the difference.
I don't know what you're saying.
You're saying, okay, you said it's the Twilight Zone franchise. It's not. It's a new show with the old title. Just like saying
it always had that title. What are you fucking talking about? You're drunk.
Just like saying, I'm going to take these 4 musicians and call them Led Zeppelin in 2020.
No one does that.
If it's not Jimmy Page, if it's not fucking John Paul Jones, unmute myself. If it's not John Bonham.
Okay, so everybody, thank you so much for joining us tonight. If you haven't already, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, share the channel with a friend, and I will talk to you guys next time. What was I
It's just not the same. I don't know.
You don't know yet. You don't know yet.
I said I don't know.
The Twilight Zone, you can say the same thing about like Star Trek Next Generation to the Next Generation, or when Twilight Zone was out in the 50s and that came out again. What is it? I mean, it is a franchise because it's in the franchise. They're not rebooting it. They're not creating the same story over and over again. They're doing continuation with more shit. And again, it might suck, but watch it before you make all these assumptions.
But where you're wrong is Gene Roddenberry had a hand in Star Trek The Next Generation.
You didn't have a hand in Deep Space Nine or the Voyager, and they're both same shit. There's people, again, that's the stupid shit that people say about Deep Space Nine. Oh, Gene Roddenberry. Wait, Gene Roddenberry fucking hated Deep Space Nine, so it's not real Star Trek. Oh, this isn't real Star Trek because isn't fit into my fucking stupid little category of what I want Star Trek to be. Star Trek isn't what I want it to be, so boo boo. Wah. Deep Space Nine, they're on a ship. It's not real Star Trek. It just copies Babylon 5 because that's the superior show.
Fucking Worf, who was in Next Generation, who had Gene Roddenberry from the original fucking series.
He hated Deep Space Nine. He hated it. He hated it.
Even Voyager had that fucker that was in fucking Next Generation with Will, right? And got kicked out of the fucking academy. So there you go.
Tom Paris? That's not Tom Paris.
That had something to do with the original franchise.
God.
They had actors involved.
Oh my God.
With
Do you know what they did to Gene? Do you know what they did to Gene Roddenberry at the end of Star Trek? They had to kick him out because he was stupid. No, they kicked him out because they kicked him out because he kept making stupid decisions. You need to watch this documentary about Gene Roddenberry and how he almost killed Star Trek because of his overindulgence in what he thought this over-utopian bullshit. Star Trek Next Generation sucks otherwise because he wouldn't let the characters argue because he said characters don't not get along in the future. Like all this over utopian bullshit. Like fuck that crap. That's not how people really would be. Deep Space Nine is how people would be.
But he still was instrumental.
Yeah, he started it, but that doesn't mean that anything he doesn't touch can't be Star Trek. That's just stupid.
What?
Just because he's not a part of a project doesn't make it immediately not Star Trek.
No. See, again, you missed my point. I'm saying that this inclination of Twilight Zone has nothing to do, nothing, not a single person.
You don't know that. You don't know that. You don't know that. You don't know who's working, who's producing it. You don't know anything. You're making a lot of assumptions.
Dude, 40 years ago, more than 40
there was a revival in the 2000s too. There was a revival in the 90s. There was a revival in the
15 years ago.
So 15 years ago, someone can't be alive from 15 years ago? Were you alive? Were you alive 15 years ago? We're old in the
I said 50.
Year 2000. Year 2000 in the 90s.
I'm looking it up right now.
Year 2000 in the 90s. They've done the Twilight Zone almost every decade. And I like the 2000 show. And I like the 90s stuff that they did. I like every
2000 show was shit, and that's largely
it was all right.
No, it
wasn't not every episode was
Friday
shit.
the 13th was shit, and it was still better than Twilight Zone.
Friday the 13th was not better.
Was shit, and
you're definitely getting muted for the rest of the show. Friday the 13th was a colossal pile of dog shit. Nothing was better than Friday the 13th. Nothing was worse than Friday the 13th. Tales from the Crypt was probably the best show, which is a different sort of thing. And I think Black Mirror is.
Yeah.
And I think the good episodes of Black Mirror are like probably the best representation of it.
And that was in the 80s they revived it, not the 90s.
Yeah.
And it was originally 1958 to 64.
Yeah. Anyways,
so 64 to 2020.
50. Anyways, I'm done with this conversation. Everybody.
Oh, Jordan Peele is involved?
Yeah, he's the host.
Oh, I might watch it.
Oh, fuck you, dude. That's what I said. Fuck you. I just said the
and
host.
Rod Serling is still alive?
Yeah,
what?
He's producing it. Like, again, you was talking so ignorantly about, like, what's happening here. This is a revival of the team.
Well, you didn't say Rod Serling was still in it, so don't tell me I'm ignorant when
I couldn't think of his name because that was my point. My point was you were talking out of your ass.
And Rod Serling is not in it. He died in 1975.
No, but his family is producing it. But his family.
Oh, great. Wonderful. So Jimi Hendrix Kid put out a fucking album with Jimi Hendrix old work.
Hey, you're telling me you don't like watching Nico Blue sing Changes?
What?
The Blind Melon, Shan Hoon's daughter sings with Blind Melon sometimes, and it's really emotionally awesome.
I haven't seen it. I don't know if I've heard it.
It doesn't sound good, but it still feels. But yeah, Jordan Peele's.
We argue just to argue.
Yeah, that's great. That was a good time. But people don't. But I like if the wrong people hear this, it's like when two dogs are wrestling. It's just we have too much.
It sounds like we're about to stab each other.
Yeah, we have too much fun with this. But yeah, Jordan Peele is awesome. You're not gonna watch it just for Jordan Peele? That'd be great.
No. That makes me interested. See, nobody said anything about Jordan Peele. Nobody in the chat.
I said the host was awesome.
You didn't mention Jordan Peele.
Yeah,
Jordan Peele is really good. I like his sketch comedy. I think he's a great writer.
He's not going to be a part of something that's too shitty.
Talent.
He's just not going to be a part of something that he thinks is shitty. You know what I mean? He has a sort of level of credibility towards what he chooses to do. Anyways.
Yep.
So
see, look at. And for all those people who think I dig my heels in and
Dad, stop fighting.
I just learned something. I just read something. I saw that, hey, there's a little bit more involved in this than I might know, right?
See, guys, Joe can learn. And Jay has one more message for us before I can only imagine what this is.
You watch him be like Jordan Peele and all this shit.
Yeah,
watch.
he's like, guys, Phil, why don't you tell
have you guys seen the new Captain Marvel movie? And second off, do you guys know if the Twilight Zone is going to be like new stories, or are they going to take the like the original?
From what I've heard, it's gonna be newer stories.
I hope there's a bit of retelling of some of the classics, not maybe scene for scene.
Yeah, inspired by new versions in a more modern setting.
Right.
Are you telling me you aren't happy with Terry, Enid, and Henry are all dead? Phil, thanks for setting me straight to the show. Bring back the Crypt Keeper. Stop fighting, Dads. Phil's gonna have a black eye tomorrow. I mean, he walked into a door. Yeah, don't worry. I'm locking my doors and putting the chain up now. Okay, everybody, if you haven't already, please hit the like button. Please hit the subscribe button. Share the channel with a friend. And we'll be back very soon. I'll be back next week with David to talk about the last episode of The Walking Dead. And then Joe and I will be back for the following 7 weeks with Katie joining us as well. And probably most of the times, maybe not every week, but at least a good chunk of those times for premiere night and final night and a few times in between. And we'll also have a couple of other special guests popping on those, maybe a few ghosts showing up, and he might bring a friend with him if people know what that means. So we might get a few guests on some after shows, and it's gonna be a lot of fun this season. It should be a good time. And at minimum, we're gonna definitely have some cool folks in for our feedback shows in the midweek, and we're gonna try to do 3 casts a week for Game of Thrones season. The feedback show, the main recap, and then a kind of trailer babble analyzation kind of shit. So yes, it's gonna be a lot of fun, Joe.
Absolutely, it is.
It's gonna be almost.
I can't wait.
It's gonna almost be as fun as CBS All Access in the Twilight Zone. Almost. Oh gosh.
It's gonna be a lot of fun.
Atari Dad says, "Well, I almost said something about Jordan Peele." Someone should have said it.
I almost said it.
Almost. People have suggested. We've had a few suggestions of Joe and I should dress in cosplay for the final season.
For each episode.
For each episode. I don't know about that, but maybe for the last episode we can figure something out.
I'll dress as the imp.
You could do the imp. I was gonna get you a mountain mask or something.
Well, isn't it enough that Katie wargs for every?
It's true. It's true. But do we expect Katie to go back to her warging days? Is that what's happening? Are we going old school?
Season.
Are we going old school? Do we have the crow?
For this final season, Katie and I already talked about it a little. I think we're gonna have her do the be warging.
Get back into
some of that
crow
energy and get in it.
Yeah. Okay. So good. Everybody broke. Thank you for sticking around all night. Tom himself, Lindsay, Carmine, thank you for popping in earlier. Santovia Major, always lots of love. Johnny Rico, Mike Bushnell. We got Ronnie Rollins, hugs and motherfucking kisses. The wonderful Cattigat. Oh, holy fucking shit. Walking David, I'll see your ass next week. Sitting on my television lap. Brian, Don, fucking Joe. Thank you, Jay, for all the voicemails tonight. Thank you for our super chat donators. You guys are awesome. Thank you for listening to Joe Schilling. Paul Q. I love you, buddy. Love all of you guys in the live motherfucking chat. You guys are still on? Yeah, we're still on. We can't stop. Oh my goodness, I have to get up way too early tomorrow, but show's making me feel better than not.
How can I sit here and be Jon Snow when I'm sitting across from Phil, who looks like fucking?
No, I look like Jon Snow's grandfather. Come on, I look like old Snow.
Come on, I look like Jon Snow's fat, fucking retarded fucking cousin. Are you kidding me?
You need to be strong Belwaz. That's what you need to do. We do.
Or the series.
Yeah, or you could do Dothraki. Be Khal Drogo.
A crown for a king.
Yeah, be a crown for a king, motherfucker. Oh my goodness. Oh, and for one more. Wait, where is it? Joe, even when we argue, you'll always be my
shit buddy.
My shit buddy.
Don't have to worry, get your shit.
I'm gonna laugh when the Twilight Zone becomes your favorite fucking show.
Right?
You're like,
right?
Dude,
it probably will.
Dude, the Twilight Zone's fucking awesome, dude.
I love
and I'm gonna hate it. And I'm gonna fucking hate it. That's what's gonna happen. We're gonna come back here and talk about this, and I'm gonna think it's shit. And Joe's
I'll end up with a subscriction to CBS and shit.
Yeah, exactly. I'm gonna be like, this Picard show sucks.
Oh, I could be Hodor.
Oh,
Hodor.
Stop. Hodor, stop. Stop. We're gonna get caught. They're gonna hear us, Hodor. Hodor, stop. We shall retire.
Still the saddest episode of television.
I know, Dr. Enos the penis.
Penis.
I know. We can never say Enos the penis anymore. Good night, everybody.